Not even know. Whoa. Okay, there we go. There's my mic. There it is. Good job, me. Perfect execution. Perfect way to go about it. Perfect all around. Perfect all around. Good job. Jolly good job. Chip, cheerio. It's so good. Yes. It's so good on midnight. Okay. That's there. I wonder, did this even? Okay, this is the right channel. Because sometimes I fail to differentiate between the two, and it's often led to me being confused about what I'm even doing in certain moments. Really? Yeah. The thumbnail is just funny. You realize she's streaming right now, and she posted that face, and I was like, "Yep, gotcha." But boys, girls, everyone else, hello again. Well, listen, usually I'd sit here and be like, what do you mean? I haven't streamed already today. The reason this stream is occurring is because you might have noticed there's a stream that's gone. The stream that just happened is gone. It's blocked all across. Not one. There has not been one time where I've had a stream just blocked altogether. Now, it's been restricted in several countries before, but it's never been fully blocked. And you know, I ain't even mad at it. It gave me the option. I thought it would let me like dispute it, but that'd be a waste of my time because I was like uninterrupted playing these songs. It was Teen Titans. It was Pokemon. It was the Fairly Odd Parents. I don't know what XLIX is, but the full screenshot, like not the full screenshot, but like the full list, it was all of them. All of them was listed. I just only gipped on the ones that's there. That's literally all it was. I sat here and I knew it was gonna happen. Like I told y'all that. I ain't get the email yet, but I went into like the channel's videos and lives and shit. I saw blocked and I'm like, ooh. That's a whole lot of claims to take the stream down. That's why I'm not fighting it. That's why it's like, oh well. It's not really much I could do there. You know? But hey, at least, you know what? It doesn't matter. What matters is the friends we made along the way. Now, I really wasn't going to turn the stream on again, but I saw 25 Trump supporters versus, of all people, Destiny. And I told myself, you know what? I got more time. That stream, I mean, it was fun, wasn't it? You can't get that shit anywhere else. You only get that shit from Ruin Leon Live. So why don't you go ahead and subscribe? Because on occasion, we'll just vibe out. And the streams will never see the light of day again. Other times, we'll watch grown men and women argue with each other about politics. And we'll slowly lose our...
Elon Musk.
What the fuck?
Tucker Carlson.
Excuse me?
President Trump.
Calm down, PC. What did Destiny do? Why is the assumption Destiny is in the wrong already? Why is that the assumption steadfast? I just, like, out of curiosity, why is that the first thing? Now, Eagle Eyes will point to that horrendous take about the firefighter, which is fine. You can have that take. Oh my God, dick! Now, that take was horrendous. Might I add a however? Because he's a cuck and he's always wrong after that. I hope your metric follows through with several other people online that are also cucks, verifiably. But also, knowing that that take is horrendous while also understanding his thought process for that take, still don't agree with it. However, I do understand it. He said that because several people have gimped him on this. And like, how dare you say this about a slain firefighter? And his rationale is, I don't give a fuck. Conservatives do the same thing, which immediately makes me raise my fucking eyebrow because it's like, so you know this side of dumbasses does it, and their response is going to be, well, the left does it too, because it's so I guess in the end I'm right. You're all pieces of shit. Oh my God, Dick! Oh, Dick 6! I'm also going to be playing college football. I think Nick Rekieta, well, it doesn't matter if he's a cuck. What matters is he's a cocaine addict that had cocaine around his children. I think fuck if he's getting cucked. That's the more important issue for him. More specifically. Jesus. I'm sorry. It was two dicks. One on defense, one on offense. I'm so sorry. I know that's not what y'all come here for. Y'all come for my professionalism as a streamer. Y'all come for my professionalism as a streamer, and I'm sorry that I did not give that to you. However, hit play.
He's unfit to take the presidency. Why is that?
I would say that one of the most important values that we have as Americans is our form of government and things like respecting the peaceful transfer of power. I think that being able to conceive when you've lost an election is really important. So
let me know if I need to matter of fact, don't ask me that. I'm gonna just put it on 1.25 and go from there. Also, I have news that none of you care about. I have a friend who proudly what professionalism? How dare you? You know I'm more professional. I have a friend who felt so confident enough to tell me that they're voting for Trump. And I don't know if they were Dick! Oh my God! And it's a Dick 6! I'm sorry. I have a friend who proudly told me that they're voting for Trump. And maybe in their mind, they expected me to say, fuck you. But wrong guy. You still good in my book, no matter which one of y'all, whoever y'all vote for, y'all still good in my book. My bad. I have basic respect for y'all making these choices, and either you live to regret them or you live to be happy with what you made. That's really much it. Can we go get? Oh, I also went and got a mimosa. That's what I did today. Aren't you happy for me? Aren't you happy that's what I did? Aren't you happy that's what I did? I got a mimosa. And mimosas now make me love women again.
So I would argue that the events that took place leading up to and on January 6th are in and of themselves, among a whole bunch of other actions, immediately disqualifying for
January 6th is the biggest black eye for old Trumpa Wumpa Crumpa Dumpa. It will continue to be a black eye on that man's reputation as a politician. It's like he can't escape it. He will never be able to escape that. It will drastically just be there forever. It's the internet. I come here to hate every little thing. Well, that's a good way to look at life.
for the opposite presidency.
Okay, so Steve, let's talk about January 6th. What happened that day in your mind, and why does that disqualify President Trump?
I think that Donald Trump was unwilling.
Wish I could get mimosas at 3:30 on the. I mean, it wasn't at 3:30, and also it's 3:27. It was literally about an hour after the stream. Like, I ended the stream, watched and then got a mimosa.
To accept the results of the elections. I think that he fabricated slates of electors in order to have his vice president pick him to be the winner.
These are some ugly ass Trump supporters. Jesus Christ. These people are ugly.
In the Capitol building on January 6th, even though he didn't have the votes or.
Does anybody remember the funny moment where there was a weird conversation about all Democrat women are ugly and all conservative women are hot, and that got debunked immediately? I don't drink. What is that? It's a beverage.
For the evidence to support it. I think that is a wholly undemocratic thing. I think that it is destructive and undermines our democratic process of governance.
Do you attribute the violence on January 6th to Trump?
Yes.
Largely, yes.
Okay, why?
I think that Donald Trump had been stoking the flames a year before the election, saying that the election was going to be rigged. I think that Donald Trump stoked all of these claims basically with no evidence, and then I think that he continued to stoke the flames while fabricating them, that the election had been stolen, that there was voter fraud, and then he invited people on the day of the certification, telling them that their election had been stolen, their country was being taken from them, they needed to fight like hell, that they were going to lose everything. He knew what he was inviting them there for. He knew what he was asking them to do. He knew, yeah.
He also told them to go down to the Capitol peacefully and patriotically, right? What time did
did.
protesters
That
first
was-
go into the Capitol? What time did they first enter the Capitol?
I think it was around 10 a.m., I think, is when the Capitol grounds were breached.
No, 2:11 p.m.
No,
No,
to be
2:11
clear, that's not true.
2:11 p.m. is when protesters first entered the United States Capitol.
There's the grounds that were secured outside, though.
Okay.
Those grounds were breached while Trump was still giving his speech at the Ellipse.
Okay, let's talk about the entrance of the Capitol because that would be more severe in your mind than simply walking onto the property, right? Can you concede that point?
Probably not. I think they were all really bad, but yeah.
Okay, well, entering the Capitol, let's just mark that point. 2:11. What should Trump have done at that point?
I personally think, because there's not really much he can do besides what he did, which was tweet, I would have preferred everybody scramble to get that motherfucker on national TV to get him to tell people to shut that shit down. That's what I would have preferred. Like, I really didn't need a tweet from you. I needed you as, like, the ringleader to get these motherfuckers to cool it.
As soon as the Capitol grounds themselves were breached, he probably should have put out a statement on social media telling people that they needed to go home instead of telling them that Pence had failed them and basically encouraging the violence to continue.
So what if I told you at 2:38 p.m. President Trump tweeted, "Stay peaceful." He tweeted that to his supporters, "Stay peaceful."
Tweeted
It's another ugly Trump support.
27 minutes.
Listen. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And I'm not seeing no beauty right now.
later.
He tweeted that
And no, Destiny's not attractive either, for all of you that fixate on me potentially being gay.
after Ashley Babbitt, I believe, had already been shot and killed.
Okay,
So
so
what does it mean when you tell your people to stay peaceful? They're not being peaceful. That doesn't make any
2:38
sense,
p.m.
right?
2:38 p.m. 27 minutes after the Capitol protesters had entered, he said, "Stay peaceful." Okay. At 3:13, he said, "Law and order." At 4:17, he posted a video saying, "Go home now." So what on earth was he supposed to have done? I'm not happy about some of the violence that we saw on January 6th, but let's put it in context.
Well,
Steve.
wait. You just said it. You just said what he should have done. The tweet that he did at 4:17.
No,
he
that
should
was
have
the
done
video. That was the third call.
It was no.
for
It was,
folks
it was the first time that he told them to go home.
Yes. Fuck, I'm live again. Why is this a shock to you people? If I want to go live, I can go live whenever I want. Freaks.
Stay peaceful 27 minutes after the Capitol protested entered the
After
Capitol.
Ashley Babbitt had already been shot and killed. They weren't being peaceful. Why are we saying stay peaceful?
How many
At this point,
protesters
Pence
were
had
there?
already been.
How many
Doesn't
protesters
matter.
were
It's a
there
red
on January
herring.
6th? How many?
Hold on. Do you acknowledge that people broke into the Capitol?
What do you mean
Fuck!
by break into the Capitol?
As in smashed. They entered it illegally. They broke down
100,000
barricades.
people were
What-
there that day. How many were charged with crimes? 100,000 people there. How many charged with crimes?
Do you acknowledge that people
How
broke
many were
into the
charged with
Capitol?
crimes then? The
How many people
FBI
in the BLM riots were charged with crimes? This is a red herring.
No, it's
How many
not.
people who
You said they're violent.
Did
How many
they-
were there that day? 100,000. How many were charged with crimes? It's the largest FBI investigation in history. 1,553
It's not relevant at all.
have been
It's
charged
not
with crimes.
relevant.
How
It's
can you
not
say they were all
relevant.
violent?
It's not relevant.
How can you say they were all violent?
The first people
Okay.
that got into the Capitol, did they
Is
break
January
in?
6th your only
Did they
reason
break
why
in?
he's unfit?
Wait. Did the first people into the Capitol
It's my reason. My reason. Oh, thanks, Dick!
break in?
Is January 6th the only reason he's unfit?
Are you unwilling to answer that question?
Is January 6th the only
Are you
reason?
unwilling to answer? You can say yes, you don't want to answer, then move on.
God, this is embarrassing as the Jubilee style. What are you talking about? That's not professional to go live whenever. Damn it. I'm trying to think of a witty response to you, you demon. Because how dare you? How dare you catch me? Also, I could have sworn, wasn't Jubilee promoting nothing but conservatives? I could have sworn that was the gimmick. Why the fuck is this liberal fascist leftist on my screen on this? Excuse me, Jubilee. I came here for Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro and who else? Who else? Those are the only two people bring up. Oh, Matt Walsh. Yeah, him. Shit. Who else?
On because you know the implications are terrible for you. That's fine if you
The
want
reality
to.
of the situation is
The reality of the situation is people
What
broke
is
into
the
the
number
Capitol.
one voter
They
for
delayed.
voters? What is
They
the number-
delayed the
what is
certification
the number
of the
one
vote.
issue for
They
voters?
delayed the certification of the vote.
How the fuck did we go to number one issue for voters? Like, what the fuck? How we went from January 6th being a black eye for Trump to, do you know what the number one issue for voters is? Also, happy Halloween. What are you people dressing as? Are you people not going to work tomorrow because you're going to Halloween parties, you irresponsible adults? You fucking irresponsible people.
Number one
Did they
issue for
not?
voters.
It doesn't.
The vote was certified. Was it not certified?
Was there a delay in the certification?
Was there
a
not
delay in the
certified?
certification? It
It's
was
absolutely-
because
I think what Four Eyes is ignoring is that, yes, it was certified. Oh my God! Dick! It was certified. However, there's that one caveat of it taking hours for it to be certified because of a riot. I can't say, oh, well, at least the Wendy's got rebuilt after a bunch of motherfuckers burned down the Wendy's, because I'm deathly certain that fucking Summer of Love shit is about to get brought up somewhere.
Because the National Guard showed up and they kicked the people out after Donald Trump was forced to tell them they were going home after watching them break in for 3 hours and do nothing. By your own
Let's just
admission,
have let's have a productive conversation.
No, we're not having a productive conversation. You're not answering my question.
Keep going. Okay.
Yeah, I asked you a very simple question. The first person that got into the Capitol who wasn't allowed in, how did he get in?
They walked into the Capitol.
No, they broke in with a riot shield. They stole it.
You know, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I may not know too much. I had to put my headphones in because you randomly yelled die. No, I'm not yelling die. I'm yelling dick. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to anyone who's around you right now. I'm sorry to the people who are around you right now. But I'm playing a football game, and it's naturally accepted that in the midst of that, you just yell out, which you can when you meet the maker.
From an officer.
Okay, and that makes President Trump unfit for office.
Do you acknowledge that that happened? Are we living in the same reality right now? Do you acknowledge that
there
that
was
happened?
violence on January 6th. I acknowledge.
It's really only when I get like a pick, so don't stress yourselves too bad, peoples.
that there's
You
100,000
see how I'm making a
protesters.
specific claim?
1,500.
You know what 1 plus 1 is?
I do.
What is 1 plus 1?
I think it's 2.
Okay, good. We can answer the question.
Math
Okay,
is
let's get it.
racist. Math is racist.
The first
Steven.
person,
I want to say that strike one, but I'm actually interested in this video. Jesus Christ. I'm actually interested in this video, so I'll have to stomach a lot of shit I don't want to stomach in order to fucking make it through. I don't want to fucking hear through people. You can't say, let's have a productive
person that got
conversation, then fucking say, math is racist, Steven. Like, don't irk me.
into the Capitol building. How did they get in?
You are arguing that Trump is
Hey, let's
unfit.
try this. Do you know what 2 plus 2 is?
4.
Who was the first person into the Capitol building? How did he get in? Why not just say he broke in?
Is your entire argument about January 6th, yes or no?
Well, my biggest argument right now is that conservatives are delusional and they don't exist in the same reality that we
Why
do.
must
So
you
any other
attack? Why must you attack
Pause.
75 million voters?
Pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
That's tough. They voted. Wait, I didn't even know you could do that. Niggas get voted. Yo, punk ass can't debate it. So that's tough. I'd be like, you motherfuckers voted me out. Hold on, Bob. That's a dot, y'all. $10 million, y'all. Why are they clapping?
Hi, how's it going? How are you? Ready to go?
See you again.
Yep.
I ain't gonna lie, he looked dapper. He had him a nice little suit on. That's a nice little suit on. He tweak. Look at that man. That man is dapper. Hold on, you can't see it. That man look dapper. Mm-hmm.
So, you don't think Donald Trump is fit for office based on January 6th.
Among
However,
other things, yeah.
however, we have to admit that January 6th was compromised. There were patriots and there was Antifa. There were people
No.
who were, yes, there were.
On January 6, 2021, thousands of Trump supporters were violently forced their way into the U.S. Capitol building in order to stop the certification of the presidential election. Claims that Antifa members were involved are false and have been debunked.
Actually,
not.
I have video of it. Don't argue it. Don't argue me because I actually have video of people who were on the ground. I have video of people in Black Bloc getting dressed
Then produce it.
up in MAGA gear.
Okay.
And
It's
according
1420.
to,
First of all, you
according
don't
to-
have the video, but let's see how long
I
it
do
takes.
have the video.
Who
And
was the
according-
first person to break into the Capitol? Was it Antifa?
It was an Antifa person. Yes, it was.
You're wrong.
And it's actually, if you read Andy No's book about
don't
Antifa
need to
Unmasked,
read
it
Andy No's
actually
book.
talks about how they use the premise of a broken window to then allow other people to come in because people.
That's a MAGA fit. I ain't even know. I just thought the bro came dressed in a red suit. Y'all see that one chick behind him? Got the fucking red dress on, like full on. I'm going to a gala dress. Come on, man. We don't need our benign. We are a better society than all of these people. We don't need to insult yet.
People are a mass. They're a group. They're like a herd of cows. And when there's a broken window, they
Oh
don't see
my
anything but come in
God!
because people
What the fuck was that?
are a mass.
Who the fuck is this? Who is this? Who the fuck is you? Who are you? He strikes me as somebody who says, hello, welcome to the Quickie Mart. Hello, welcome to the Kiki Box. Both sides are crazy. Thanks. We already knew that.
They're a group. They're like a herd of cows.
Happy Halloween and Leon. What? What the fuck does that mean? Happy Halloween. Happy Leon? Is that what you mean?
And when there's a broken window, they don't see anything wrong with walking into a building if the window's already broken.
I thought conservatives were the party of law and order. If you were outside somebody's house and you're supposed to be breaking,
This
you could walk
example,
in
this
afterwards.
example is even continued through BLM and the riot.
We're not talking about BLM right now. Although I'm glad it took us 40 seconds. It's not.
I will not respect that man's drip. He had a terrible beanie on.
Pattern in 2020 is the same that happened in January 6th, where you had innocent people moving into a facility that they didn't know that it was wrong because the doors were already open. So you're already.
They were.
Not to sound like that guy, but if 50 people break into a building, I'm not following them. Is that what he just tried to explain? Like, hey, you know, people didn't know. What the fuck do you mean people didn't know? Everybody's there for the same reasons.
Window. They don't see anything wrong with walking into a building if the window's already broken.
I thought conservatives.
First of all, if the window's broken, there's the chance that I might bleed from shards of glass.
The premise of a broken window to then allow other people to come in because people are a mass, they're a group, they're like a herd of cows. And when there's a broken window, they don't see anything wrong with walking into a building if the window's already broken.
Okay, I've now heard that 3 times. That is a horrendous fucking justification for a bunch of people going into the Capitol. You're telling me everybody went in because a window is broken? Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief.
I thought conservatives were the party of law and order. If you were outside somebody's house and you're supposed to be breaking,
This
you could walk in
example
afterwards.
is even continued through BLM and the riot.
We're not talking about BLM right now. Although I'm glad it took us 40 seconds. It's not
the pattern
the
in
pattern.
2020 is the same that happened in January 6th, where you had innocent people moving into a facility that they didn't know that it was wrong because the doors were already open. So you're already.
There was broken glass on the floor. There was doors that were being broken into.
Yes, by
everybody knew when they were going
as
in.
MAGA, we're not MAGA.
Oh,
you
okay.
have
so were all of the indictments and the convictions for people like Enrique Tarrio, for Stuart Rhodes, all these people that have been directly involved, all the video footage of
which one of these people was his commander? Name one of the commanders of the insurrection.
Enrique Tarrio was the CEO.
Commander? The fuck? Y'all niggas had leaders? I thought niggas was just going in to fuck some shit up. Very stupidly. Oh my God, fumble! He picked it up! Fuck.
The Proud Boys. Stuart Rhodes is the CEO.
Is he a commander? Is he a commander in the
I don't know what
insurrection?
their official military
name the
roles
lieutenant in
were.
the insurrection.
Why do I have to name the
An insurrection is going to have people like commanders, generals, captains, people.
No, it doesn't
yes,
need
it
to
does.
at all. But the Proud Boys
Absolutely, it
had
does.
leadership
Yes, it
structure. If
does.
you'd like, you
Because
could go and
there
read the
is-
indictments. You could find the structure.
There was no leadership structure.
Oh God, no! There's that fucking. There's somebody there I don't like. I don't like hearing them speak. I don't like hearing them speak.
It can't be an insurrection if there is no leadership structure. You can't even name one of Donald Trump's commanders in this.
I don't
And then
need.
this
they're
gentleman-
all listed
this
in the
gentleman
indictments. I already
told
gave you the
that
CEO
Donald-
of the
that
Proud
Donald
Boys.
Trump-
They're the ones that
Donald
broke in.
Trump made 4 tweets, and those 4 tweets didn't even make it out of his sphere because they were immediately suppressed by the media.
They weren't suppressed at
yes,
all.
They were
He
deleted.
sat-
They were
no, they
deleted.
weren't.
They
You're
were
right. You
deleted
can
by
go and see
Twitter.
those tweets
He
still.
brought them out on stage on his town hall and said, "Look, here are the tweets that you deleted." How do you explain that? Other
How
than
do you
a
explain
fascist
Donald Trump?
system who doesn't want
I
Donald
can
Trump.
explain. Yeah, the calls for peace came 3 hours.
No, they
while
didn't.
he wait. So do you
Just
wait?
told you
Do you
they came
acknowledge?
22
Do you
minutes.
acknowledge that Donald Trump sat in his room for 3 hours before he told people to go home, watching the
Donald
violence
Trump
unfold?
gave a
You want to
speech.
answer a question?
Donald Trump gave
I don't
a
care.
speech.
I don't
You
care.
don't care about the
I
facts
don't.
then.
No. I'm the one. I'm asking a very simple question.
don't
You
care
can't
about
answer.
facts.
I can answer your question if you answer my question. Do you acknowledge that he sat for 3 hours?
No, he didn't sit for
watching-
3 hours because he gave a speech during those 3 hours.
No, at the very
Yes, he
end,
did.
he went after the ellipse speech was done. He went back to the White House, and then he sat in a room with a Diet Coke, and he watched the violence unfold.
How do you know this?
Because it's accounted
Were you
for
there?
by testimony.
Were you there?
How do you know what's happening at the border? What's happening in China? Are you there? What do you
Actually,
mean?
this gentleman is actually.
Hold on. Are you? I'm sorry. Is your claim that the only way that you can know something is if you personally
But you're
witnessed
making
it?
these claims that he sat there.
I'm making this claim based on hundreds of hours of deposition
over and
testimony
tell his
by people that have been
supporters
in front of a
to
number of
There it is. That's another one that got voted out.
courts in front of the J6 committee. In front.
Okay, so the first 2 people are not good at creating the conversation and the dynamic that would actually make people understand what it is they're talking about. You have one motherfucker who wants to have civil conversation, but then say math is racist. And then Dapper Yapper over here is, hey, if I see a broken glass and 2 other people are there, I might go join them.
In front of the media, in front of the.
Okay,
there are so
pause.
many different people that are willing to testify to all of this.
Pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seats.
Hey, what's up?
So
Oh, God. It's somebody who looks to be in their 20s. What a libtard. Oh, my God. Dick!
I think that, we've been talking about January 6th. I'll be the first to say that, and I think a lot of people here would agree that there were bad actors that day. I'm someone who comes from a family of law enforcement, family of military, so I believe in law and order. And so I do believe that there were people on that day who took things way too far. And I think most Republicans understand that. From people that I had talked to on the ground, I think that the media blew it up into something bigger than it was. Again, I'm not saying that.
Ooh, I don't know about that one. I can't blame the media on that one. What is this voting thing? If you're talking about me, I don't know. If you're talking about the video, I think it's like a round table or like a circle. And if enough people out of, I think the number's 21, raise like a red flag, they got to move on to the next motherfucker because they're not doing good. And the people there also not doing good.
People who broke into the Capitol shouldn't have, but I do believe that there's a lot of people who are misled.
Barton, that won't work because the 1v20 that they did with like that ripoff Tom Holland, they had a wine mom. They had basically a fucking wine mom do exactly what you want. The problem is that she ended up getting more mad than he did.
There's evidence that's coming out with all the tape.
I am going to walk away from this thinking none of these people will walk out looking good because they won't be able to actually eloquently shut anything Destiny says down. And
tapes that are coming out from January 6th showing police officers were actually escorting people.
You could definitely blame both. I don't think I can blame both on this one. Not on January 6th. I can't seem to find a way to accurately blame the media for reporting on people rioting a Capitol building. I feel like that is an example of them doing their job. Hold on. Dick!
Through the hallways. So to say that every single person who entered that building is, a criminal, I think a lot of people.
Just to be clear, that's never been my claim. That every single person entered was the building is such a boring and uninteresting. I would never waste my time making it.
Okay.
The reality was, I do agree with you on your fundamental. There were a lot of people that were misled. I do agree with that. And I think that Donald Trump was behind that misleading the entire time. The people were there because he was tweeting out at them saying, "Come here for a historic protest." It was obvious what the protest was going to be. They were protesting the certification of the vote and what happened.
President Trump never told anyone to break into the Capitol. President Trump has always run on a campaign of law and order.
No, he
and to
hasn't.
respect his
There's
police.
one.
Okay, where has he? Where's your evidence of that?
The whole plot on January 6th was to break the law, to have Mike Pence choose him to be the president.
At what point did President Trump tell people to break into the Capitol?
No.
To
When
do
he
what
wanted
happened?
Pence to choose him to be the president.
No. But talking about breaking the law.
That's breaking the law. The law was the Electoral
But
Count
what
Act.
you're
He wanted
saying-
to break that
no,
law.
What you're saying is that you had that he was inciting an insurrection.
Was saying that as well, yeah.
He was inciting an insurrection and telling people to basically
People they needed
break
to
in.
fight like hell or they were going to lose their country. He
Okay,
said that they needed more.
how does that have anything to do with breaking into the Capitol? Yes,
I think it
again,
was just,
there
so
are
then
bad
let me just
actors.
so just to be clear. So he told people to go to J6 because it would be a historic something, a historic event. When they all got there and they showed up at his speech at the Ellipse for an hour, he riles them up, telling them they're going to lose their country, that they're trying to steal it from you, that we need to fight like hell. Giuliani was just on there before saying trial by combat. He said all these things, and then all these people, he said, we're going to march down Pennsylvania. They all marched to the Capitol.
Is there anything wrong with protesting outside
I'm
the
just
Capitol?
asking, like, was the fact that
I think that there's nothing. I think there's nothing wrong with protesting outside the Capitol. But when y'all break in that motherfucker, it's a whole different story.
there was a break into the Capitol, and for the first time in U.S. history, the vote certification was delayed? Was that just a coincidence? Is that,
Okay,
was that-
so
okay, was
going
that a-
back-
I just
okay,
want to
so-
know. I just want to know that before you ask a bunch of random questions. Was it just a coincidence that a break-in happened and the vote was delayed? Was that a coincidence?
Because people broke into the Capitol, that can't be blamed on President Trump.
So it was a coincidence.
President Trump
Can
has
you say that? Can you-
President,
I didn't hear you say
President
it was a
Trump has
coincidence.
always ran on
It
law
was
and
a
order
coincidence
and for
then.
people. And
So it
yes,
was a
there were
coincidence.
bad
It was a
there were bad
coincidence. It was
actors.
a coincidence.
But let's move to the
This is
certification.
insane.
No.
You understand it's crazy, right?
Let's
You're nothing about you
okay,
is law and
in
order.
2016,
Your family is
in
law
2000,
enforcement?
in 2016, I've already said that there were bad actors. In 2016, Democrats questioned the election of President Trump. Yes, they did.
Oh, Barton, they're bringing up the thing you just said.
Sheila.
Shut up and let's see it play out. Hold on, what is that? 7 Democratic members of the House of Representatives objective to the certification of the 2016 presidential election. Representative Barbara Lee, Sheila Jackson Lee, why is everybody named Lee? Maxine Waters, Raul, I'm not trying that, Jamie Raskin, Primelia Jayapal, and Jim McGovern.
Sheila Jackson. Sheila Jackson.
Concede. He's not going to answer this question either.
Sheila
He
Jackson.
won't answer it. I'm gonna ask it again. You're done.
Sheila Jackson, and another, like 2 other Democrats had spoken, said that they were going to question and to hopefully delay the certification in 2016 when President Trump was elected. And
When did Hillary Clinton concede?
And look,
the answer is that night, right? The answer is that night. Was the certification of the vote delayed?
Okay, so
the answer is no.
There are
Was there a right?
That's a good way to look at it. Because the difference, I could be with you all that motherfuckers are going to contest the vote that night or even that week. But when the fucker who's running concedes and wraps it up, while also still blaming Russia, oh, so suddenly something struck me in my throat there. Maybe it's that vid. As compared to a motherfucker stoking a lot of stupid people to come up with a decision for themselves that, hey, you know what we should do? Break into a fucking building. I think there's a drastic. Oh my God, fumble!
The Capitol? The answer is no, right? So none of what you're saying is relevant here. Yeah.
I am from Arizona. I was in the middle of the elections in 2022. I've been there. I saw what happened in 2020. There are serious questions about what.
No, there aren't. Hold on.
Okay, I'm from Arizona. I've worked in this.
From Arizona. I don't care that you worked
I worked in politics.
Biden still won though, so did it fucking do? Did it do anything really? See, that's the problem. We can't necessarily ignore a bunch of people doing something just because the end result is still the same way. That's a horrendous precedent that really shouldn't get set. Because who cares that a Wendy's was burned down? They built it back. Who cares if property damage happened? They fixed it. Who cares if people died? Hey, we have new people. Hey, they paid for a funeral. Hey, this, hey, that. Like that. Nah, I can't stick with that one. Because then I'd have to be consistent with every other stupid thing that goes on with, hey, at least this outcome. So does it even matter? Like that, I think that's a horrible way to go about it. Be honest with you. I view that as, all right, something still occurred no matter what dumb shit happened. So I guess the dumb shit shouldn't be discussed. Like that's my takeaway out of that. And I view that as terrible. I view that as a horrendous way to actually go about even having ramification. Because fuck it. Because every time January 6th is brought up, BLM gets brought up. BLM. Oh, who gives a fuck? Because, hey, who cares? Black people got scammed out of millions of dollars and dead people were used as a catalyst to make these people millions of dollars. Black people are living it up. They donated some money somewhere. So the black community is maybe 0.5% better. Like, in all good conscience, I can't co-sign the, oh, well, does it matter? Because it just can't stick for me. That, something about that is just grossly negligent. Something in that is just grossly negligent. I'm sorry, where is the thing that allows me to see my progress? Like, what is the progress? I almost fell for it till a friend of mine got me a second thinking about that group when that happened. We talking about BLM? Bro. Maybe it's just because I'm jaded and life really don't life me the way it life the fuck out of y'all. I'll never trust an organization with anything. I can't do it. I can't trust an organization. It just can't be done. Where the fuck is the... I can't fully focus because I want to know where... I think it's in the store. I could be ass backwards wrong. Okay, here it is. I want that 91 left in to see what he could do.
Every single court case on this failed for good reason,
okay,
right?
It's failed on standing.
No, that's not true. A lot of them are crossing evidentiary. Number one. And number two, wait, do you agree that standing is not for a case?
Let me get to my point.
You have no point.
Yes,
you're fabricating
I do.
information.
No,
I can't auction this? What the fuck? It's BND, you bitch.
Time in 4K.
I wouldn't even bought this shit.
There is
Well, maybe
serious...
1080 of this will be broadcasted.
Okay, pause.
Serious questions.
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seats.
Okay, another thing. these Trump supporters, and for anyone who doesn't understand the concept of this, it's 1v25. These 25, I don't even think they have a time limit for this. I think, well, they do. There's a timer right there, but I think it's like a time limit for the subject. It's like, I don't think these people are doing a good job trying to illustrate a fucking point towards whatever it is that they are for or against. I don't think they're doing a good job of it. I think they are disastrously bloviating for the sake of fuck it, which is bad. It doesn't make them look good. Do y'all think I'll get anything good out of this pack? Don't answer, because I'm go for it anyway. Let's see if I get something good. See if I get something good. They're doing a shit job. Like, that's the problem. Okay, I got a B and D for some fucking reason. Okay. So far, this is something good. This is something good. You can tell by the slow movement. Why is it B and D though? I don't like the fact that it's B and D. I don't like the fact that it's B and D. Why is this B and D too? Like, why? I should be able to sell you. I'm gonna sell y'all anyway, but that's all I can do with y'all is just sell you. Uh-oh. Barton, you getting what you want? Barton, you getting what you want? It seems to be a mom-ish figure. Who knows how it plays out? I know I'm saying it like I've watched this, but I swear I haven't. I swear I haven't watched this. So, let's watch.
I'm way behind you, so I just see the back of your head.
Okay,
I'm
hi.
Star Nice to meet you. I just have questions. I like to ask people
Never mind. She looks like she's early 30s.
questions. I'm interested in hearing how people think. So when you're talking about the insurrection on January 6th, what would you describe during when Kavanaugh was elected to Supreme Court and you had all the protesters at the Capitol, they were banging on the Capitol doors, they were screaming, they were yelling. How do you feel about that?
I would have to know the specifics of the event. I don't recall any proceedings being delayed. I don't recall there being a top-down call from the president to lead
You don't
these
remember that
particularly?
they had to stop the congressional meetings because people were banging on the door and being so
Oh, there's something. I gotta read it. Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation hearings were briefly paused multiple times due to loud protests. Protesters were promptly removed each time and never physically impeded the proceedings. So that happened. Destiny's lying. What did he say?
I like to ask people questions. I'm interested in hearing how people think. So when you're talking about the insurrection on January 6th, what would you describe during when Kavanaugh was elected to Supreme Court and you had all the protesters at the Capitol, they were banging on the Capitol doors, they were screaming, they were yelling. How do you feel about that?
I would have to know the specifics of the event. I don't recall any proceedings being delayed. I don't recall there being a top-down call from the president to lead
You don't
these
remember that
particularly?
they had to stop?
So he doesn't remember, but he's finicky enough to say, hey, I don't remember the specifics. I don't remember them ever being stopped, but they were briefly paused. So that's somewhat in that category, but they never impeded the proceedings physically by breaking into the building. So there's the outlier. Is that enough of an outlier to destroy the comparison? I would make the claim yes. Because this is now twice of an attempt of comparison. The fact checks come from SAN. Is the SAN app credible? I've never heard of it. Neither have I.
The congressional meetings because people were banging on the door and being so loud and trying to break into
Up
the
their
doors.
proceedings for. If they did, then it's bad.
Yeah,
wait,
I agree.
Just to be clear, this is the difference between me and you, okay?
I appreciate the fact that Destiny said if they did, it's bad, which is the way to go about it if you really don't have a full 100% recollection of that, which I will not penalize him for because you can't name 40 people who have a 100% recollection of every single major style of an event. I could forgive that slightly.
Okay? Is that if everything you're telling me is true?
Oh, I'm a female. I'm a female.
You're
So that's
Make America
obviously.
Great Again.
I'm a female.
Okay.
Yeah, I just.
Barton, we have been disappointed. Immediately, I know where this is about to go. Or do I? When I hear I'm a female, so I feel like there's about to be an unfunny contradiction, and it's going to hurt my heart.
Just put it on. I had a cowgirl
That's the
hat on
difference that I'm
before.
talking about. I
So
don't
I'm
care
a
what
female.
we're
I'm a female and you're a male, and it's almost like you're attacking me because I'm a female. Are you
attacking
anti?
Barton, I feel like we got cock teased. Barton, you and I wanted the same thing, and I thought I was going to get it. She looks 30-ish. She looks early 30s. I thought we were going to get it.
Anti-female? Are you anti-female?
Half the time I am, okay?
I-
What I'm
okay,
saying right
at
now,
least you're honest.
I'm very
At
honest.
least
But what
you're
I'm saying, yes,
honest.
I am honest, which is why I'm saying that if
Sweetie,
this happened,
can I ask you another question?
I didn't even answer your first question.
No, you said that you didn't know the specifics.
Yes,
That
but
is the answer, so
what
I'm not
I'll
going to
tell you
force.
is
I'm not going to
that-
force you into a yes or no.
I promise you can't force you to do anything.
Okay, I'm not.
If
so
it
that goes the
if it
same way.
happened as
I
you
have
say, I
another
would say
question.
that's
I have
bad.
another-
And you know what? The
I
people
agree
involved
with
should
you.
be arrested.
You're still yelling, and I
That's not
agree with
good.
you.
I'm not yelling.
I
I'm not
agree.
even close to yelling yet. I can if you want me
Well,
to.
I'm glad you are.
I think what people like hilariously ignore when it comes to debating or talking to Destiny is that this dude's sole goal with people like so far the 4 that have come up to him is the goal is to not only debunk what they say, also make them mad, which I respect. But man, it's fucking Panda. Where were you? You missed so much. You've missed actually 4 hours worth of streaming. I streamed early this morning for you because you bitched that, oh, you stream at random times. So I scheduled a stream for you and you didn't show up. Fuck you.
You're projecting your voice because I couldn't hear you before.
Okay.
So I can definitely hear you now.
You could do that. Maybe hair behind your ears. Go ahead.
You want my hair behind my ears?
If it's inhibiting your ability to hear me speak, yes.
Well, actually, it's because you need the bottom of your. I'm in the medical field, so the bottom of your.
Just because leftists do it too doesn't you shouldn't do it either. No one likes it when you play these games. That's crazy considering the video you're gonna see at like I think 6:00 p.m. from me, which is exactly what you just said. Now, before it drops, I just want you all to remember I do not care about your stances on any of these fucking issues. Once you do some shit unlawful, I no longer give a fuck that you are pro or against abortion. Just so y'all know. You can't be outwardly shouting, we must ban and send these BLM protesters to jail, but then make an excuse for a bitch breaking somebody's hand because, oh my God, she's pro-abortion, and then lying about it, saying she was just praying. I think I'm too far gone, Leon. I'm almost of the opinion that the peaceful solution is impossible at this point. It is. Destiny is still insufferably antagonistic, in my opinion. He is. He is. And this is why you shouldn't be too far gone, because it's easy to spot. And it's easy to just like have defeatist mindset and just be like, fuck it, we're all too far gone. The way to really think about it is you can spot what is not necessary. You can easily spot it. And I love the fact that I've paused this on a really hilarious shit-eating grin. Matter of fact, let me just go ahead and screenshot. The thing is, and I said this hours ago, and I'll repeat it, what you could say about one, you could definitely say about another. Yes, Destiny is being wildly antagonistic. However, that's his norm when dealing with, so far, the 4 people who have come up, because they're not the brightest. They're not doing a good job defending or speaking their points. They're actually doing a horrendous job. And that's easy pickings for somebody like Destiny, for somebody like me, for somebody like anybody who enjoys catching people in their obvious oopsies. Now, I will give this woman credit so far. She's kind of caught Destiny in the, hey, were you aware of what Brett Kavanaugh did? And he would I consider conceding the point? He did say whatever they did, they are wrong for that too, which is what you're supposed to say. If he made an excuse for it, then he'd be a fucking hypocrite. But the peaceful solution is still there. Do you know how they got the meme where a baby's chances of killing you are low but never zero? The peaceful solution is low, but it's not zero. And it'll always be there as long as people are willing. The problem is you're dealing with, I would argue, 1 and 2 sides who are playing this cute game of chicken to say it was this side that did all the tyranny first, Remember how earlier Netanya told us all what we already knew, that old Creamy Beanie was his name? The Bidenator called Trump supporters garbage, without recognizing that not only did that occur, Trump has called Kamala a fascist. You have several individuals who aren't Trump calling anyone who supports Kamala lesbians, on top of the funny little anecdote that, you know, everybody ends up being a communist voting for her. You're a weak male. Then you got Obama running around saying, how did all this mudslinging go about, as he antagonizes black men into voting for Kamala? You see how I just demonstrated or gave examples of both sides doing mudslinging, and somehow both sides are like, oh, what did all this rhetoric happen? I will say this for, I believe, the 5th time today. When Trump got shot at, whatever you want to call it, all those media pundits, right wing specifically, were saying, we got to keep the peace. We got to liven it up just a little bit because things have gotten a little bit too fucking weird. And it's true. It did. They didn't do that night at the RNC, nor did they do it last Sunday at Trump's rally, where they were calling this bitch the Antichrist. Is that de-escalating and turning down the tensions, or is that propagating it up the most? They got the wrong conservatives representing me. Like, research went out the window. You know how there's that slur for black people with like the hard R at the end that I can't say? The phrase fact-checking is the N-word for people who lie, and for some reason they're drastically on the conservative side. I think there's 40 of us here. I think we are all not a fan of misinformation. Not, oh my God, I heard a rumor that in the 4th grade you peed on yourself. Let's not play that game. I feel like everyone's against like blatant misinformation being spread about a lot of things. For example, COVID. And you blink and you might miss it. Some media pundits have faced consequences for that. BLM, some media pundits have faced consequences for that. Now, let's kick it up a notch. Election interference. There's a certain right-wing main media mogul that has faced consequences for that. The painting people out to be racist white supremacists for standing still, smiling, and having a drum beat in their face. There were people who had to pay for that. CNN. Quietly, or it's not really quiet, a lot of people just don't bother to look up shit. People are facing consequences for blatantly lying about instances or people. Should they face more? Yes. However, you know what would prevent that? Telling the truth and spreading information and not misinformation. And what trips me out is that, what's his name? Tim Walz, the VP for Kamala, was on TV saying, hey, we gotta do something about misinformation because you have people who are going to spread voter misinformation, which is illegal. And you know who lost their fucking minds? A lot of conservatives. And they tried to spin it like he's coming for your free speech. No, he's telling you fuckers, stop lying. You can lie about Santa Claus. You can lie about the Easter Bunny. You can lie and say you fucked the tooth fairy. And that's how you got that yellow tooth. Don't spread voter misinformation. When I'm watching a group of motherfuckers burn a building, don't say it's mostly peaceful. When a bitch is going to jail for 3 years for breaking somebody's hand, restricting access to a building, and threatening terrorism, do not, in all good fucking conscience, sit here and play that game with me that she was just praying. Like, who in the fuck do you think I am? I have 4 eyes. I use them.
tongue needs to be clipped. So that's the reason why you have a list when you're talking. Anyway, if you want medical advice, I can do that, but it's better to be private
I'm
on
good.
that.
If
So
I
I
need
have
some
another question.
psychiatrist
So we
advice, yeah.
agree that during the Kavanaugh trials, if people were trying to break into the Supreme Court,
would be a
that's
bad
bad.
thing,
I
yeah.
agree with you on this,
Uh-huh.
Buddy. So, and the next thing is, I have a question for you, because you also brought up border and immigration, right?
Well, I
what would you
haven't,
say?
but I see you want-
Actually,
yeah.
you did. They can play it back. So anyway, what would you say if the Biden-Harris, we have the Biden-Harris administration right now, if our border was filled with neo-Nazis with tiki torches, what would happen?
You'd probably sell a whole lot more lighter fluid. I don't know. What do you mean?
No, if
Okay,
our
pause,
border,
pause. Sorry, you've been voted out by the majority.
I just hate putting myself in the box that way. Who told you to put yourself in a box? You know what's crazy? A lot of times, y'all not even doing nothing. It be motherfuckers trying to put y'all in a box. You realize motherfuckers in my comments fight with each other about if I'm conservative or not? Even though I've blatantly said fuck conservatives. And I've had to pancake that with fuck liberals too. Because I don't need you fuckers thinking I'm one or the other. I'm a nigga on the internet. Who's the majority? The people in the circle. That you're wondering who's voting all these people out? It's the people in the circle. They got all these red flags, and when they view the conversation really not going some way, they just raise the flag up. And it's out of 21. So if 11 people raise the flag, you're out. Yes, but stopping misinformation would need someone to police it, which would mean consensus, like when 50 intelligence agents swore that the laptop was misinformation. Yeah, and they should be punished. You see how I'm continuing the consistency? You see how I respect the fact that you said that and brought more information to the table? I would never do a 1v25, primarily because I hate people. I wouldn't even do it over fucking, what was that shit called that everybody had to be a part of during COVID? Zoom? I'd never do that. I don't want to waste my battery life. I feel bad. I want to stay, but I also want to take a nap. Go take a fucking nap. Nobody's requiring you to stay.
Hey, you, Micah.
But why calling it 25 when it's 21? That is a good question. Who doesn't have a flag? Because it literally says 1 Democrat versus 25. Who's not participating? You know, this is gonna make me not care about the rest of this video because now I'm gonna focus on who's not participating. Fuck!
Okay, I want to talk about the alternate slate of electors and how historically that has happened before on the Democrat side. Yes, it has. In 1960, JFK against Nixon ran an alternate slate of electors in case it was overturned in Hawaii. It was eventually overturned in Hawaii, and so then those electors were certified, and JFK won the
yeah.
state.
So I'm glad you bring this up real quick because this is one of the biggest pieces of shit talking point.
In 1960, Hawaii sent multiple slate. Hold on, I gotta fucking get this first down. Then I'll read your propaganda saying I didn't get the first down. In 1960, Hawaii sent multiple slates of electors to Congress due to a 141 vote difference between Nixon and Kennedy during a recount. As Vice President, Nixon certified the results on January 6, 1961, noting that it was the first time in 100 years a losing candidate announced his opponent's victory.
Points that you guys always bring up, and I don't know why. In 1960, 2 slates of electors were authorized by the state legislature. Both were granted the certificate of ascertainment from the governor because they knew that it was a very close election and they'd authorized a recount, and because that recount was going to go past the some mid-December date, it's December 14th for the 2020 election, but some mid-December date for when they had to certify their vote. So they said, okay, well, we'll send in both certificates, and then on the day of the counting, on January, whenever they would have done the certification of Congress, then they can choose which one was authorized by the state legislature based on the results of the recount. Donald Trump's certificates were not authorized by any state legislature.
Well,
Do you
right,
acknowledge
right,
that?
well-
Wait, real quick. Do you acknowledge real quick that none of the 7 slates that were sent by Donald Trump?
I think one thing, oh, here we go. I think one thing that traps people when it comes to destiny is that they don't want to acknowledge the one thing that he gets them on, and that's when he strikes. I've noticed that. Like, he will respond to these questions. What's happening to his jaw? What's happening to his jaw? What's happening to his jaw? And also, what is this notification I'm getting? YouTube? 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 What is that? YouTube? I don't like it. YouTube, you're giving me a warning. Why are you giving me a warning? I'm not doing anything. How does the song go? I'm not touching you. It's not a song, but you get it. YouTube, I'm concerned. Is Jubilee going to strike you again? They didn't strike me the first time. His jaw moves like a typewriter. That's drastic, but also could be true. We've detected a video in your stream belonging to someone else. Why is it not showing me this full thing? Your stream may be temporarily blocked. If you plan to continue, please ensure that the content owner has... Oh, God. Really? I thought Jubilee was like a fan of motherfuckers going over their video. What the fuck happened? What happened? What? Why? Why the fuck did that? You know what? I'm going to shrink it just so that I could get away. I'm going to shrink it. It's going to be right there. And maybe I could scoot. Maybe I could scoot by. Come on, Jubilee. I thought y'all wanted people reviewing this dog shit. Fuck. Let a brother get some traction on his channel. You know what? They might be racist.
No, none of those were authorized by any state legislature.
Can I answer?
You're not going to.
No, I am. No, I am.
Conversation.
No. They weren't certified, and why? It's because fraud wasn't found. It wasn't proven in court.
No, you're lying. You're lying. They
Wait,
were authorized.
so you're saying fraud was found?
No, you're lying because those legislatures.
Wait, what do you say I'm lying about?
They're lying because none of those alternate slates were arranged by the state legislatures. They were arranged by Trump and his criminal co-conspirators.
Fuck it. I'm putting it on. Trump and his allies tried to create an alternative slate of electors for Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. They did that despite being told by lawyers, including the Attorney General, that there was no fraud sufficient enough to overturn the results.
None of the state legislatures.
Do what Jay Longbone did to put a filter over it? I'm not dedicating that much effort.
None of the state governors authorized those slates of electors.
Okay, what's wrong with that?
It's illegal.
That's illegal. No, nigga. You. Yeah, shut this shit down. We need more. What's the word? We need more smart people on this because this is bad. That's a bad way to go about it. That's a bad way to go about that. No way he did that. No way he did that.
Slates were arranged by the state legislatures. They were arranged by Trump and his criminal co-conspirators. None of the state legislatures, none of the state governors authorized those slates of electors.
Okay, what's wrong with that?
It's illegal, number one, and number two.
What law? What law says that?
You have laws that are governing how you're supposed to transmit.
What law? What law?
Do you want me to give you the specific statutes in Georgia, Arizona, New Jersey? I don't know them off the top of my head. If you want, you can.
Okay, so then that's a baseless claim.
It's not a baseless claim.
Yeah, it is.
Chesbro and Eastman.
You can't provide me a specific law.
Because I can't give you the state statute?
Yeah, if you can't give me a specific law, then why should I believe you?
Barton, I feel like the only two people who are actually interested in hoping that this would lead to something are me and Barton. And I feel your energy, Barton. I don't mean to sound like a white woman on shrooms, but I feel your energy. And every time you hear something that dumb, I feel you wincing. I feel it. I feel you. I know that sounds sexual, but it's not.
There's no justification for that. You have to provide evidence for that.
Hold on. On the contrary, are you claiming there's no formal process that's codified in the legislature for how to send transmit your electoral votes? Do they just do it randomly?
No, of course I'm saying, of course there's laws that are involved, but
Okay.
you can't point to the specific law that says that is.
I don't know the numbers.
And so your
of
claim
them.
is baseless.
It's always crazy to see that you guys will carry water. Even Trump's own people don't deny this because they know that they're dead to rights because the emails have leaked, the conversations have leaked, the Twitter.
It's a destiny debate. Nothing good will come of it. Only pain, suffering, and lots of cringe. I ain't gonna lie. I'm enjoying it because it further solidifies how some people don't need to be having conversations because they don't know how to do it. I'm pretty certain somebody here knows how to talk to this dude and they will be able to do it. The problem, oh my God, Dick, the problem is that football player holding a football, you illiterate petulance. The problem is that the people who are running for the opportunity are coming across as very fucking dumb.
posts are there that we can see from
No,
their
no, no,
accounts.
no.
Really, what did I just say that was wrong? One thing that I just said that was incorrect.
You're
I can
getting
name three
upset because
things.
I'm pressing you on.
No, I'm not. You're not pressing
Yeah,
me
yeah.
at all.
Yeah, you're getting upset,
floundering.
dude.
You're like a magic carp. you
See,
have no idea what
when
you're talking
when you
about.
have to resort to personal insults, that's when you know you're losing.
You already said
Right?
that I was
And
lying.
so-
You can't name a single thing I'm incorrect about. I can name multiple things you've been incorrect about. You were incorrect.
And then now
in
you're not letting me get at work.
1960.
And then this is another thing, Barton. The whole calm demeanor that we would want, we're not gonna get because I could smell it in that room. It's a lot of people who don't know how to deal with somebody who disagrees with them because they're used to ass kissing. And so they're gonna start being passive aggressive like what he just did. When you start having to result to insults, that's when you know you're losing. Did he just bring up a Pokemon insult? Yep, called him a Magikarp. Or said he's floundering like a Magikarp, which I won't lie, got a slight laugh out of me.
I think,
go
I
ahead, yeah.
think you're just speaking for yourself. You're making yourself look foolish. in
Okay,
this
go
case.
ahead.
But okay, yeah. I mean, there's 10 seconds.
Let's go. Give me your hardest time.
Again, it was for the same reason. You can compare the election of 1960 to 2020. It's the exact same thing. They did that in case their cases
Okay, pause.
actually came to fraud and
That's
they
time.
found fraud in the election.
That's time. Micah, please return to your seat.
My next claim is that Harris would be a better president for immigration and the border than Donald Trump.
Oh Lord. What is it that I say? Oh no. Who among thee is gonna step up to be the first one? And who is going to do it? You know what's crazy? I know what Destiny's gonna do. Because I've been watching some of his streams. Somebody's going to fall for the trap, and he's going to mention that bill that Trump got shot down because he wanted to use it as a political point. I could read it like the back of my hand because I've been watching Destiny, and like every time the topic is immigration, it gets brought up. So now I'm titillated. Who's first? Scrawny ass fucking white guys. Hold on, wait. Dick!
Seat.
My next claim is that Harris would be a better president for immigration and the border than Donald Trump.
Watch this. Watch the guy who gets up and the guy who actually gets the seat. Disgraceful. If I was that kid's father, I'd say he disgraced his family by, oh my God, by letting that happen.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Long time no see.
Yeah?
All right, so why would Kamala Harris be better than Trump on immigration?
Because I don't know if Trump even knows what's actually wrong with the border.
He doesn't know what do you mean by that?
I think that Republicans don't know what is happening right now with the problems with the immigration system. A lot of people think that the issue is with illegal immigration. It's not. The problem is that our asylum process is completely and totally broken right now. And the problem is the only way to rectify that is to change the laws governing, or at least some of the regulations governing the asylum process. And when there was a bill on the table to do so, Donald Trump blocked it to keep the border open for an election issue. But as it
Well, at least nobody brought it up first.
stands right now, you could have the biggest, strongest wall in the world with the best guns and all the people manning it. It would make zero difference on illegal immigration. They would still come up and claim asylum, and there's nothing you'd be able to do about it.
So do you think there's problems with illegal and illegal? That's what I'm hearing correctly?
Well, it's different classifications of immigrants, but like asylum seekers aren't technically illegal immigrants, even though Republicans call them that. When they're doing the asylum seeking process,
I ain't gonna lie. Stop fucking pausing on him. Stop panning to him. His existence pisses me off. The Destiny Ben Shapiro was way better because it wasn't one somewhat smart person versus a dumbass or a college student. It was two equally informed individuals talking. It would drastically be way better. But some people will view that as more boring because we want to nudge on weird insults because ooh-wee.
process and millions of people are here waiting to hear their case. Technically, that's all legal, which is an issue.
Okay, but why would Kamala Harris be better than Trump? You said she understands it better. I think everybody understands the issue, but I think the Democrats and Republicans, at least the establishment, they don't want to fix the issue. So
Well, but so I don't think everyone understands the issue. So every single person sitting here doesn't believe me when I just said that the laws on the books and the asylum process are the main issue. They think it's just people illegally crossing the border, right? The reason why I think that the
is it
Democrats
also
should do something is
enforcement?
because
Because they're not enforcing laws on the books.
they are
People that
enforcing.
shouldn't be
They
here
are
are
the
here.
issue. They're enforcing them.
Yeah, but there are people that are illegal here and they're not being sent back.
I mean, that's a whole other deportation.
So they're not
other
enforcing the
thing.
law then?
Well, who's they?
The government.
Which one? The state governments or the federal
All of
government?
them.
Well, the federal government doesn't have the resources to go in and
After a
find every
pig.
single
What
potential
a
illegal immigrant in the United States.
dweeb.
There's a whole bunch of
Well, we
issues.
just sent how many billions to
What
Ukraine?
a
If we have
fucking
the money.
spank.
We can hire
Get
people,
him.
a lot of people in this country. That can happen.
So the
We're
majority
choosing
of like
not to.
80.
Leon, are you gonna play horror games tonight? tomorrow.
Percent of the aid we send to Ukraine is in the form of like used weapons and stuff.
Right.
But secondly, it's just a matter of, even if you say we have the money for it, I mean, we would have to appropriate the funds for it and everything else to do it. Like, it's not a matter of simply saying like, oh, we're going to triple the size of the DHS or ICE or whatever to do.
But so now you're saying, so you want to be tough on immigration, right? And you think Kamala Harris is going to be tough on immigration, just generally speaking. Like she's going to crack down on it, deport illegals, send them home.
I don't know. I'm not talking about being tough on or deporting. I'm just saying that to fix the issue we have right now, which is way too many people coming in and claiming asylum. It's
So
not
the
good.
fix we got to stop people coming in. So we need
Well, no. The issue is we need to stop the asylum process, or we need to figure out a way to make that better.
Right, but there's multiple things that need to be fixed. It's a multifarious issue. And Kamala Harris originally says that
Okay,
ISIS
pause.
is the KKK.
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
KKK. Wait, let him keep talking. KKK.
I'm Luke, by the way. Nice to meet
what's up,
you. So I just wanted to briefly talk about, you're talking about the Senate bill that failed the House. What is your argument with that? Because as far as my knowledge with this bill, it was $118 billion. That was the financial standing within this bill. Within that, $60 billion of that 118.
Oh, there's another one we got to read. The bipartisan border bill. I feel like every time I full screen it, that's when the message comes up that I might get yeeted. The bipartisan border bill rejected by Republicans contained $118 billion in funding for the border and foreign aid. That includes $60 billion for Ukraine, $14 billion for Israel, $10 billion for humanitarian aid in Ukraine, Israel, and Gaza, and $20 billion for immigration enforcement.
$15 billion was going to go towards Ukraine. Only 20, I have the chart with me, only $20 billion was going to go towards the border. $10 billion was going to go towards Gaza, $14 billion was going to go towards Israel.
Fucking whiffed.
This Senate bill was a bad bill. First off, and second off, it was just a disguising bill to give more money towards Ukraine. So you talk about the bill. That's
So just as a
the
real
only
quick thing,
Democrats really have.
so this is the argument that was floated initially, but the problem is they tried to reintroduce this bill on its own, and it still failed.
But the bill itself was written poorly. Within the bill, they're going to cap was the average weekly immigrations at 5,000. That's still way too many people.
Do you know what it's capped at right now?
What is it capped at?
Nothing. That's
Okay.
why it was.
I mean, he just keeps it with him. I mean, I would bring it. If I know I'm going into a conversation or a debate with a motherfucker, why would I not bring at least something of reference to help me? I'm not I got a bad memory. Fuck, let me come in this bitch and fucking with my chart. Let me come in this bitch with my little chart. Ain't gonna hurt nobody.
Good
But
idea.
5,000 is still way too much. Why don't they cap it at less?
What they allowed
And
it
you
to
talk
do,
about
real quick, so what they
asylum.
allowed it to do, what they allowed it to do is it allowed it to say if there were too many people coming in, they could put a 2-week moratorium and completely shut down people that were coming to the country to seek asylum.
Angie, you're about 5 hours too late because we watched that earlier this morning.
But
That was one thing that the bill would have allowed it to do that right now they
doing
don't
their
have the
job.
ability to do. They
And
are
these
doing
are
their job.
for
They are
individuals.
doing their job.
These are the individuals that are not or that are seeking asylum. Do you know how many individuals that seek asylum actually file their paperwork for asylum?
Well, if you're coming here to get a
no, it's less than half.
If you're coming here to get a slip to go to
they're
court, then they
using
have to.
asylum as an excuse. The process which comes with people that come for asylum, the easiest and most, I guess, used process, they come typically through San Diego or Arizona. They put these individuals on a freight train, send that train to New York. They house them typically at the Roosevelt Hotel. Other hotels in New York are also being used. Then they give them an identification bracelet that has a number, basically like Nazi Germany.
All of this is fine.
Let
The
me,
reality
please
is-
let me
the
finish
reality-
talking.
no,
I'm respect. It doesn't matter. I'm respecting you. Have some respect.
There it is. There's our new victim. There it is.
Okay, let's talk about the asylum process.
Okay.
Right? If Democrats wanted to allocate more money to the judges to process the claims faster,
Okay.
to allocate more money to border security to make sure people were coming in illegally, and then to be able to put a moratorium if too many people were coming in, wouldn't all of these things help?
If only less than 50% of people that are actually coming for asylum are filing their paperwork, none of that matters. We should be
How are you
starting
getting
off-
a slip to go to court for an asylum judge if you're not filing your paperwork?
What I'm saying is these people are using asylum as an excuse to get to America, to use our resources. Do you know how much money that we've spent? So there's two different types of immigrants. Two different types of illegal immigrants. There's gotaways and there's give-ups. Do you know what each one is?
Catch and release versus
So give-ups are individuals that typically their families are typically asylum seekers that they attend.
Willing to also bet they only got the craziest supporters rather than reasonable ones, if there's any. I'm going to give you a controversial hot take. I don't know if you will agree with me or not. There are, on a good estimate, some reasonable conservatives. None of them have an online presence. I'm going to repeat what I just said. There are some good conservatives. None of them have an online presence. What do I mean by that? None of them are fucking content creators. None of them are streamers. None of them are YouTubers. They go in and they get their job done. And maybe they do reach out to those people, but because of conflicts in time and scheduling, they can't make it happen. So the backdrop is to invite whatever the fuck this is. You get me? I hope you do.
Essentially want to get processed through border control. Gotaways are typically criminals, which there's 14,000 murderers right now that are within our country coming through the border. Gotaways alone, which are typically criminals, we are spending $450 billion a year just to support these criminals that are coming through the Gotaway process.
Okay, so all of this is great, but it returns me back to my other question.
They're good conservative YouTubers, but they're not political YouTubers. I'm going to go ahead and hold your hand when I say this. No.
If people are doing this by abusing the asylum process, it feels like a bill would have helped, and Donald Trump has done nothing.
Because before we can have any type of bill that basically funnels down asylum versus gotaways versus give up versus criminals versus all that, you need to have a secure border.
Yeah, but let's say
that
right now,
was not going to help. That was not going to help in the securing of the border.
Let's say you secure the border 1 trillion feet tall on the wall and everything.
Okay.
Everybody else comes up and they still do the exact same asylum claiming process.
What do you mean everybody comes up?
As in, you go to a port of entry and you say, hey, I'm here to claim asylum. And
if you have a closed border that has a stricter process for whoever's coming through, which one of those processes, which was extremely effective, was our Remain in Mexico Act.
So it wasn't that effective.
Yes, it was. The Biden administration revoked that act, as well as 94 executive orders that Trump installed during its administration. There was a reason that our border had a 50-year all-time low. And I want to ask you a question.
Well,
let me ask you a question, please. Do you condemn 14-year-olds being? Yes or no?
Number two.
Yes or no?
Number two.
He doesn't. Do you condemn 14-year-olds being?
Obviously,
yes or
I would
no?
condemn 14-year-olds.
Whoa. I wasn't paying attention for like a little bit. What did he say?
Question.
Well,
let me ask you a question, please. Do you condemn 14-year-olds being? Yes.
I think we could all do that. Now, let me add to that. Do you condone a 14-year-old getting an abortion for being raped? Because some people will say it's God's will. I'm never letting that go. And also, maybe I'm the manic person in the room. Maybe I'm the manic person in the room, and y'all could let me know. Even if you he was asking if you're cool with 14-year-olds being raped. Now, allow me to ask if I'm the manic person in the room. Say we shut this border down and illegals can't really get in as prominent as they did throughout this year and years previous. Because let's be honest, they're still going to get in. And rape still happens. Are we then going to excommunicate the next motherfucking group? Or are we going to realize that it's a greater problem? It's not one-to-one the same. It reminds me of the fucking, hey, gun-free zone area. That's a great idea. The problem's still staring you in the face.
Yes or no?
Number two.
Yes or no?
Number two.
He doesn't. Do you condemn 14-year-olds being?
Obviously,
yes
I would
no?
condemn 14-year-olds.
You condemn.
I'm not going to play this.
You condemn. You condemn
Mexico,
Lincoln Riley's murderer who came in and murdered her, who was coming through an illegal Gotaway process. Do you condemn that?
I don't care how they got here.
Do you condemn the 321,000 missing children right now that we cannot find at the border?
I don't even think that number is real.
Yes, it is. It's 321.
A DHS Inspector General report found ICE often struggles to track unaccompanied migrant children to the U.S. with 32,000 missing court hearings and 291,000 not receiving court notices. The IG said those children are at a higher risk of trafficking, forced labor, and exploitation. So their destiny. Saying that I don't think that number is real, it's a bad look, buddy. That don't make you look good, buddy. That make you look a little stupid, mate. You shouldn't be saying that the number isn't real. I don't think that's how you should go about it, mate. It would be a bad look there, governor. 32,000 is way overblown. 32,000 missing court hearings. I don't think that's 32. Is that 32,000 missing children? Because there's also 291,000 not receiving court notices. So it's like, what is this number?
I know, I've heard all the fake numbers
missing
before. I'm
illegal
unaware.
children.
Do you understand?
So I'm
Okay,
giving
wait,
you,
how is
I'm
it
giving
you
you
have a
facts
secure
right
border?
now
How
that
do
are
you have a secure
presented through
border?
ICE,
How do you
that
have
are
a secure
presented
border?
through FEMA, that
How do you
are
have a
presented through
secure,
Homeland
no
Security.
comprehension of the issue? It's just numbers. You're just regurgitating
The
them.
comprehension of
I'm
the
asking you a
issue
very
is
simple
our-
question. Let's say that you secure the border. How
All
does it
you
help
do
the
is
asylum
you do this
process?
to get people amped up. People are dying. Kids are being trafficked.
I'm asking you a simple
Drugs
question.
are coming through.
If we secure
Fentanyl is
the
at an
border,
all-time high.
90%
and
of the fentanyl in this country comes in through legal people. It's not
No,
always
it does
trafficked
not.
into illegals. Yes, it is.
During the Biden administration, fentanyl, an average yearly pound of fentanyl is 15,000. It's exceeding 15,000. During the Trump administration, it was less than
Look at him. Yeah. Do a better job than I did. Yeah.
25.
That's more numbers that have nothing to do with what
Because
we're talking about.
exactly,
Right now. Yes,
all
it's
you
just
do
random
is distract
numbers.
from that.
No,
These
you
are
don't
facts.
understand the issue.
You
Yes,
can't
I know
own
they're
up to
facts.
People
Yeah,
are
it's not
dying
about a
here.
fact. That's
All you're
great.
concerned about is trying to be right.
I'm
People
concerned
are
about
dying.
the difference is
Do
I
you
want to
care
fix
about
the
people
problem.
dying?
You don't.
Yes or no?
You don't. If you
Really, I don't.
You don't care. You
Really,
don't give
how
a,
would I not care?
because you're supporting the president that blocked the bill that would have fixed the problems. You don't
I'm
give a fuck.
supporting-
What the fuck was, ma'am?
I don't.
You don't care.
Really,
You don't give
how
a,
would I not care?
because you're supporting the president that blocked the bill that would have fixed the problems.
Are you all right? You look like, let me not. Let me be better. Let me be better than all of them.
You don't
I'm
give a fuck
supporting
about
the
it.
president
You
that
don't
kept
care.
our
When you
borders
see
secure.
The right
So they just dropped the whole Kamala versus Trump thing about the issue? I mean, yes, but also no. Why are you watching a bunch of losers debate politics when Jim is back? I'm sorry that I don't know who the fuck Jim is, and I don't have time to listen to people argue with each other about who's a pedophile and who's not.
Rileys or the Lincoln Rileys and all these people getting killed, you're thinking, yes, it's an election issue, which is what Donald Trump thought when he blocked the bill.
So you're saying I was excited, like how you were excited that
Yes,
Corey
you're
was
excited.
shot?
You're excited. You are excited when a person dies to an illegal immigrant, but when something goes to get done about it, you champion Trump when he blocks the bill.
The bill was
That's
a bad bill,
That's
period.
it. Really, what legislation did Donald Trump pass in his 4 years as president?
He had closed borders. He had the Remain in Mexico Act.
Remain in
It was
Mexico doesn't sound like a
let
bill.
me
Remain in
finish
Mexico, by the
talking.
way, was
Title-
responsible for keeping like 10,000 immigrants away
Title
a year,
42
which is basically nothing.
Title 42
was
allowed-
COVID. He gets no credit for that.
Which one's Destiny? The white one. I know, it didn't really help you. I just like pissing you off whenever I get the chance.
Title 42 allowed law enforcement.
Title 42 is gone. There's no COVID.
It wasn't COVID specific.
What do you think Title 42 was?
Title 42 allowed law enforcement to process illegals that were coming through. Now they've revoked that. If a sheriff or police officer, say there's a murderer that comes through illegally, if a police officer tries to process that guy and get him, the police officer is going to be charged with kidnapping, not the murderer. The murderer is just going to get away with this stuff. You can't own up to the facts that are actually happening of the criminals that are coming through. If someone is truly coming into this country, fleeing, say it's Venezuela, fleeing a South American country.
Barton, I feel like this is the one guy who's done us the favor of like really pushing Destiny to the side. I like this. I like this.
Country or any country that their life is truly at stake, everybody here has a heart for them.
No, you don't.
Yes, we
You're
do. And how
championing
dare you
things
can
like
say that?
Remain in
My
Mexico.
family
Hold
were
on,
immigrants.
Hold on.
So how can
If
you say
somebody-
that?
In your world, in your ideal world, if somebody was escaping one of those countries and coming to the border, you're saying keep them in Mexico until we process them. Where's the compassion there?
Mexico is 10 times safer than the country that they're
You
coming.
think that the border towns
We
that
need
are
to
being
Oh, God. Oh, Didi. You mentioned that most of them were not ready to be disagreed with. That's true. Destiny is the same here. Oh, duh. Kirk was getting other opinions, and some people were right there, but he didn't explode on them. I don't believe that. That's something I'd have to see to believe, because Kirk strikes me, he's always struck me, as someone who doesn't like it when people disagree.
overwhelmed by people coming
You could be right. I just never watched it to confirm.
to seek
Protect
asylum.
our
You think that
own
that's-
country.
Oh, there it is.
Okay,
The protect
pause,
country. Yeah,
pause.
so there's no harm for
Pause.
people coming
You've been
in.
voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
That was the only good one. And that's why they cheered him. Oh, dear Lord.
I'm glad we agree that there's a problem with the asylum system. And I actually,
Well, we don't agree. I think that, but
well, I'm agreeing with you that there's a problem with the asylum system.
Okay.
I actually think you care. I've been following you for a while. I actually think you deeply care about this issue and how it's affecting the American people. I do believe that sincerely. What is for the tens of millions of folks who are going to watch this video, just what does asylum as a process represent to you? What does it mean to qualify legitimately for asylum?
to legitimately qualify for asylum, there's like official characteristics for it, but basically the place that you're fleeing, you're being persecuted for some characteristic or trait that we think that you obviously shouldn't be persecuted for, and you're facing like severe threats to your existence, and so you have to flee the country, and then you're basically coming to the United States saying like I'm basically stateless, I can't go back to my home, like me and my family's at risk, and can you basically take me in and me become a citizen that way, basically.
That's exactly right. You're fleeing racial, religious, ethnic persecution. Absolutely. Poverty wouldn't count as asylum. It's a fact.
Destiny sounds like Chris Chan. Chris, can you confirm or deny that?
Poverty doesn't count. You have to be fleeing a particular type of persecution. If poverty is a coincident factor there, then but the persecution is key.
Sure, I'm gonna I'm going to hesitantly agree with you, but like let's say you're facing poverty in like Syria, where it's like a collapsed state, then it's like I can see it being different. But in general, yeah, but if you're just poor, you probably shouldn't be able to come here and seek asylum for that.
Absolutely. And so that's why 90% of asylum claims are rejected. Let's talk about Remain in Mexico. You brought up that you think it was a failure, it seems.
Yes.
Why is that?
One, I think there were a lot of lawsuits in the United States that were starting to look promising. I think in terms of overturning it, I think the ACLU had gotten a victory in the 11th Circuit or the 9th Circuit. And then also because just the number of people that were being kept out from Remain in Mexico. I want to say the total number over, I think it was like 3 years, was like 30 or 40,000. It wasn't that many altogether.
But isn't that actually a sign of its success? Because it was a successful deterrent. Think about it this way, Stephen. If you've got people who are fleeing religious persecution and you've got folks who are fleeing poverty, the people who are actually fleeing persecution, they will happily go to Mexico and wait for 6 months for their case to be heard.
I don't know if that's always the case.
Well, but
if you're fleeing and you literally have nothing, you're
Hold on. I need help. What's the perfect condiments for pigs in a blanket? Barbecue sauce. Now all these fucking heathens are gonna say ketchup and shit. It's barbecue sauce. You'd never go wrong with barbecue sauce.
Family, now you're sitting on like a
Look at this fucking freak said mustard. See?
border town, like waiting months and months.
You're gonna listen to this communist instead of me, a true American patriot? What's more American than barbecue sauce? Ketchup? Fucking Russians.
Maybe if you're
But that's better than religious persecution in Syria, right?
It might be, but ideally
Fucking
in the United
Russians.
States, we could process you almost immediately. And if you have a legitimate claim, we can
Bunch
pass you
of
here.
Absolutely,
fucking
but how do we
Russians.
keep the fraud out of the system? I thought Remain in Mexico, wherever you are politically, was a good way to do that. The idea was that if you're actually fleeing persecution in Syria or in East Asia or in Africa, you would be 99% better off in that camp in Mexico, where it is protected, where you have food, where you have humanitarian resources. That keeps the fraud claims out. And so to this bipartisan border bill, well, first and foremost, 9 Democrats, including Elizabeth Warren, actually voted against it. So Donald Trump didn't kill it. Donald Trump is opposed to it for the same reasons that many Republicans and some
Hold on, to be
Democrats
clear, would that
were
bill have
opposed to it.
passed? Would that bill have passed without Donald Trump telling Republicans not to vote for it?
No, it would not have.
Okay, that's completely and totally incorrect.
What's your
We
proof
can
of
look
that? Listen, let's just talk about the substance of it.
Well, the
Let's
proof is that like it would have passed. People like McConnell, people like Cruz are literally saying like we're not voting on this bill because Donald Trump has told us to pull the plug on it. The idea was that it was going to pass.
So what would that bill have done to deter the fraudulent asylum claims that are keeping out legitimate folks who are fleeing persecution?
Well, I think that right now the biggest there's an amalgamation of laws that make it so that because the asylum system is so backed up, I know that if I go to the United States, even if my claim is total bullshit, I can run to a court, claim that I'm an asylum seeker, and I know that they can't process me right now, so I got a slip saying, okay, we'll come back to court in a year or two, and it's like I'm in, and you're done. At that point, you just disappear, right? But if they could process you almost immediately, you show up, you're like, hey, I'm a asylum seeker. It's like, oh, cool, we'll come talk to the judge. You're like, okay, well, me. Then the motivation to come in and try to get in fraudulently that way, I think
Why, random. Why the fuck are you? Wait. Why are you going with mustard? You should absolutely. It sound like Destiny. You should absolutely be going with barbecue sauce because barbecue sauce is better for anal bleeding.
decreases. And one of the big things that the bill helped with was providing a lot more judges that would be allocated for these things and a lot more funding for it.
So just to correct that point, they weren't actually judges. They were funding custom officers who don't have law degrees, who are biased one way, who are more likely to approve asylum claims that might end up proving fraudulent. I think.
Wait, hold on. Who processes the asylum claims? Eventually, you have to sit in front of a judge.
No. Just clearly here, customs officers under the bipartisan border bill would be then given authority to process these claims. They don't have law degrees. They aren't judges. Judges typically kick these cases, but in this particular bill by Langford, it would actually be customs officers.
Customs officers would make the final decision on whether or not a person gets into the.
And that's how you build up capacity, because you couldn't hire more immigration judges. There aren't enough people in the country to take those.
I think you can. I think the issue is that the judge number has been capped since I think the 80s or the 60s in terms of how many judges are allowed to hear these claims. So we haven't had more funding that was allocated.
Why not
actually
bring back Remain in Mexico? It absolutely works, Stephen.
Because I don't think it necessarily works. Number one, because not that many people were kept out, and number two, even as a matter of policy, I don't know if the idea to the country to the south was like, hey, listen, if people come to asylum, we're going to go and store them in your country while we wait and process it. I don't know how even Mexico would feel about that. I don't know if the conditions would necessarily be safe for those people either. Because I thought that one of the claims that I heard.
Hold on, mix mustard and ketchup together. Are you fucking China? Fuck China! What is wrong with you? No one listened to that. That's un-American as fuck. And we shame you the most.
So much from the Trumples was
everyone
unsafe
turn
all
your
of these,
attention
border
to
towns have become
Opal
because of so many people building up there. So why would you want to stick a legitimate asylum seeker there and keep them there? Would you agree that if somebody was coming here to legitimately seek asylum and it was a legitimate case, they would probably be good to take them in and house them immediately?
In an ideal world, absolutely. But we need to also separate those who are abusing the system. Again, 90% of those claims are fraudulent. But
so then should we increase the funding to process those claims?
I think the deterrent is better in Mexico. But Stephen, let's agree to disagree. Okay.
Okay.
Great.
I see, Barton, we're getting somewhere. And this is what I like. I like civil, because the minute you smell blood in the water with your insecurity and your fucking ability to not actually hammer home a point, that's when Destiny's gonna win the fucking argument. But when you fucking just get in there, talk about it, and don't fly off at the fucking handle, you are easily able to not only talk to him, but maybe even get him to concede or change the fucking subject. Ketchup and hot pepper? Are you people manic?
Right.
Jeez.
Okay, actually, he's been snubbed now twice, so I'm sorry. I'm going to let him have it.
That's tough. That's not fair. That man won that fair and square. This is not democratic. How dare. I'm offended.
What's up?
I'll get you next time. Okay?
So my issue with the bipartisan border bill is that it only gets activated on a mandatory basis if there are 5,000 people per day crossing the border. I agree with you that the asylum process is the problem, but that bill also expands protections for asylees or people seeking asylum, the bipartisan border bill, which is a problem. I think that HR 2 is much more effective at preventing like people abusing the league.
HR 2 might have been more effective from a conservative standpoint, but that bill was DOA, and everybody knew it.
Because Democrats didn't want to vote for it.
Because, no, I don't even know if it would have had Republicans.
Do you think that it would be a win for Democrats if they passed HR 2? Like, politically speaking?
Probably not. That bill went much further.
You don't think that it would be good for Joe Biden's image?
No. I think that
Really?
I would have to go back and read it because I think that bill was way more extreme in terms of like processing people. I don't think it was a very
Yeah, it
popular
eliminated
bill.
parole, which I think is a good thing. There are a couple other things, like I haven't read
The
it.
bill was DOA. There was no
But
popular.
you-
There was no chance.
Why are you getting things for finger food? It's election night, not the fucking Super Bowl. Like, what are we doing? What has my country become? Where we treat election night like the fucking Super Bowl.
And how that was
Well,
passing
okay,
anyway.
the bipartisan border bill was terrible too.
No, the bipartisan border bill
terrible.
that would have passed less Donald Trump.
Right, but it didn't address the current issue. It was about 1,000.
It did address it. You can say it might not have addressed it adequately, but it would have been a big step in that direction.
There are about, okay, yeah, right, but the issue would have to get about twice as bad as it currently is. There's about 1,900 people who cross per day currently. Under the bipartisan border bill, on a mandatory basis, the emergency powers can only be activated if 5,000 people cross the border daily.
Wait. Finger food for Tuesday. I got Little Smokies, pigs in a blanket, taquitos, chips, and bean. What the fuck is bean dip? Are you Guatemalan? What is bean dip? And meatballs? What? Well, you going to say, bro, I hope you got 3 bathrooms. You operating like you got 3 bathrooms. You a motherfucker that probably only got 1 type shit.
Over 70 period, right?
Yeah, but then after that happens, you can shut the border down for 2 weeks and process 0.
But you can only the bill, the emergency powers given in the bill can only be used for 270 days of the first calendar year, 225 of the second, and 180 of the third. And in addition to that, if it drops below 70% of that mandatory number, 5,000, which is about 3,750, which is almost exactly double what it currently is, it gets automatically rescinded. The powers go away.
I don't believe the powers.
Yes, they do.
They have the ability.
Stephen,
How
read the
can
bill.
anybody come in if they're processing 0 claims?
Wait, what do you mean?
If they're processing 0 claims, once they
No,
get
it's not
that
on the basis of
threshold-
claims. It's on the basis of crossers. So 5,000.
No, but it shuts down asylum claims as well. That was the nice thing about it. We don't have an issue right now with illegal immigrants coming into this country. We have a problem
We do.
right now.
Absolutely
I know,
we do.
yeah, stay mad because you guys can't read. That's fine. The problem that we have right now is with asylum seekers.
I agree
not
with you.
illegal immigrants.
I agree with you. And this bill
moratorium was-
expanded protections for asylum seekers.
Yeah, but it also gave the
So
ability for the border to
your
shut down
argument is
asylum.
dead on arrival.
No,
Yeah.
2 weeks shut down. What is our moratorium right now on people claiming asylum?
I don't know.
0. It's nothing.
Right.
So this would be better definitionally.
Okay. You said earlier that like you were talking about I forget who it was, but like the 5,000 cap on a mandatory basis or whatever. It's not a cap. That's not a cap on like.
No, it's like a 7-day rolling average.
Yeah. Let me finish. It's not a cap on how many people can come into the border. Obviously, 0 people are allowed to illegally cross the border, right?
But
wait, I'm
people
not
coming
wait,
from
wait,
illegal,
wait,
right? Do you acknowledge that people coming clean asylum?
Yes, I agree with you. Let me land my plane. Okay. So that's not a cap on how many people cross the border. Obviously, it's illegal for anybody to cross the border. It's a cap on power.
Okay, pause. Sorry, time's up.
Okay.
Please return to your seat.
I actually see this is too straight. I will not have you fucking terrorists turn on me. Bean dip is terrible, and I will invoke my right of political power to silence any of you who chooses bean dip. I will not try propaganda food. I'm an American, and even on the worst days, I pretend to be proud. I love that 2 straight people came with information, did it arguably somewhat calmly. This guy, he kind of got tense here at the fucking, at the end there, it got a little tense. A little tense. It was tense there, but he got it. I like how this is going. See, we're changing the guard. Barton, we're doing good.
So you're talking about?
Hey, before we go any further, we want to take a moment to say,
Fuck you.
plus their media outlets, your new
Claim is that Donald Trump's economic plans would increase inflation and devastate the economy.
I feel like we're about to go right back to the stupid.
So under the Trump administration, inflation was consistently at 2%. Under Biden-Harris, it's 5.5.
What do you think the biggest contributor to the Biden-Harris inflation has been?
Well, you could say the supply chain, but I would say the bills that they passed, the Inflation Reduction Act, had nothing to do with inflation. The reason inflation's kind of at 2.5 now is because they raised interest rates. It has nothing to do with what they've done.
Okay, so what was a huge event that probably triggered a ton of inflation because of all the knock-on effects from it? There was a really big event that happened in the past 5 years.
Referring to COVID?
Yeah. Okay. So COVID happened. So if we look at Donald Trump's administration, we look at what he did. He ran massive budget deficits. He did nothing to cut spending. He did giant tax cuts, right? And he pressured the Fed to keep interest rates.
Well, Harris adds like $1 trillion per year to
Yeah, but at least they can argue for why they would have deficits, right? Because they're trying to save us from a massive recession, which more or less they did.
already hit recession a couple times.
No, not really. No.
Yeah, by the letter of the law we have.
Okay, if you want to say that we have it, it was a soft landing at worst. Okay, but it's nowhere near as bad as it could have been. But at least we were coming into an economic crisis they probably had to spend for. Why did Donald Trump run massive budget deficits when he was sitting on a great economy that he inherited from Obama?
It wasn't a great economy.
It was an amazing economy. The stock markets were posting all-time highs for like 3 or 4 years before he even came into office.
And they got even higher under him.
They did. They continued to grow, yes, but why did he have to run budget deficits to do that?
I mean, his tax cuts actually helped everyone. It helped
For as
me
much
a
as you
middle-class
hate
person.
me, I do not like
Deficit spending always
beans
costs
on
people more money.
toast.
Yeah, but how would this ever?
I'm not
inflation?
one of those. I'm not going to say it.
Well, there was no inflation under Trump.
Yeah, because the economy and everything in the world was growing too, right? COVID hadn't shut everything down yet.
Right.
But I'm saying that Donald Trump's administration.
Even his last month in office, that was 1.4%. Biden can't even get that in his best.
Yeah, but are we going to cite like the year of COVID as like these are the?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you want to be fair to under COVID, the last few months, unemployment was terrible. So if you want to go off that too, but as soon as the country opened back up, they try to take all this credit of all these jobs that were just out there.
Sure, and I wouldn't. I think that's pretty stupid to say that we created as many jobs or whatever. So I'm not giving them credit for that necessarily. Of course they would. But I'm just saying when we look at just for inflation, everything that Donald Trump talks about when he wants to come back in his next term seems like things that would just be inflation. He wants to tariff everything.
Well, he wants to drill more, which will lower the price of everything.
We already are a world producer in energy. I don't know how much drilling more is going to help. But I mean, he also I don't even know how we'll have the people to drill because he wants to increase tariffs on every single product in the world.
Well, just stuff made out of America. What? Which will benefit the American.
Yeah, but if it's made out of America, then what? Then who's going to be drilling when we're all busy like making clothes and making shoes and making the most basic fundamental products?
Well, not all of us, obviously. Stuff that would come from overseas.
Why? He wants to tariff all of it at 50 to 1,000%.
No, he didn't say 1,000. He said 100.
He said a lot of numbers. He said that Bloomberg interview yesterday. I think he said 1,000 for some of them. Yeah. But yeah, he said he wants to tariff everything. He said 10.
That's another thing. Trump does fucking not stick to a consistent number. This motherfucker will say thousands, he'll say hundreds, he'll say tens. It's very I can't keep up with Trump.
20% was too low. He wants to manufacture everything at home.
And then when Harris went on The View and said, would you do anything different than Biden? She said, no, can't think of anything. No matter how people are struggling, how the world is, she can't think of one thing she would do.
Well, I mean, the United States is ahead of the
Okay,
rest.
pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seats.
Why him? That was actually good. See, what the fuck was that? See, no. See, fuck no. I need y'all to watch this with sincerity. Like, what the fuck? Like, that immediately makes everyone here look like a fucking moron. On what biblical fucking planet are we with a straight face doing this? It ain't that drastic to talk to that fucking dude. It really fucking ain't. It'll never be that serious. Maybe you wanted a moment. You know what? Maybe he wanted a fucking moment. But that right there makes every single one of these motherfuckers look like a fucking moron. Really? We gonna watch it again. Is that necessary? Like, is it? And then he scurried the fuck off.
Okay, that was very high.
Well, hold on. To be clear, I'm not a huge fan of just like stimulus stuff because I think it has a lot of inflationary pressures. I think forgiving student loan debt, I think would also be massively inflationary in a lot of ways. But none of those even come close to the total economic destruction that would be wrought on this country with across the board universal tariffs to every country in the world.
Were you concerned by the tariffs in the first term?
Yes.
Okay. Why didn't we see the inflation in the first term under Trump under these tariffs that you're so concerned about?
Because I think that raising prices and everything can kind of be masked through the allocation of money to other assets, especially when the economy is growing. So the world economy is growing, right? Because a lot of people can buy things, a lot of money can transfer to a lot of different places. Inflation has to do with dollars chasing supplies of goods, basically. And if the supplies continue to grow at a really high rate, you can probably afford more deficit spending. But the issue is that I don't think that Donald Trump was intelligently saying like, well, I can probably afford a deficit spend here because of the economy. I think he just likes to spend because everybody does. And I don't think that Trump would have the ability to rein it in, as he said multiple times in his Bloomberg interview yesterday. But also like the big event that was contributing to inflation over the Biden administration was probably COVID and a lot of the knock-on stuff from COVID.
American Rescue Plan, for example, the unemployment rate had already been cut in half. 100 million people had immunity to the virus, and yet we put $2 trillion of heroin into the economy.
The United States is also outperforming every single other G7 OECD country when it comes to metrics like inflation and how our economy is doing as well. So I think we probably made the right choice there, right?
Well, Stephen,
wait, would you say that we made the right choice there with like the American?
I disagree. I disagree.
Okay. So which country should we have acted like?
Well, I'm going to hold ourselves to the American standard, which is to always do the best thing and not to compare ourselves to others.
Okay,
Listen,
so we are outperforming everybody else, but you think we should be doing even better. Okay.
Stephen, if I'm the best alcoholic in the room, I'm in the wrong room. I don't want to be the best of the worst. I want to be the best compared to my own standard.
Okay, but to be clear, you're talking about a world where every single person is apparently alcoholic.
Stephen,
I'm just saying that you're trying to point to an economic policy you can't point to in any other country in the world. And we measure things
8.5 million Americans.
To other countries, and the fact that we did.
I haven't interrupted you. I haven't interrupted you. With all respect, I haven't interrupted you. 8.5 million people are working multiple jobs to keep up with inflation. You've got 7 million prime working age men who are not in the labor force. 37% of Americans say that their children's life will not be better than theirs. This economy is hurting a lot of people right now. Do you accept that?
No. What's Donald Trump going to do to improve that economy?
Well, let's talk about that for a moment. Let's just talk about that for a moment with all sincerity.
Sure.
What problem does tariffs try to address, Stephen?
In Donald Trump's world, or what? That's a very general question.
Objective speaking, when you look at tariffs, what does it try to solve for?
Tariffs can be levied for a variety of different reasons. The two most common reasons that are given is that one, it can be foolishly employed to protect an industry. So you would tariff other people to make your own industries more competitive. These require across-the-board tariffs, so not specific ones. And then a second reason could be for issues relating to, say, like national security. So for instance, I want to tariff these people's abilities to manufacture microchips or steel, not because I think we're economically better off, but because if we get into war with them, I don't want to be relying on them for processing.
I think the latter case makes a lot of sense, by the way. If you get to war with China, now listen.
Although I would be honest about the latter one, is we don't do it for economic reasons, we do it for security reasons.
That's fine. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. And I agree with you on that. Does China have tariffs on us? Yes. Does Europe have tariffs on us? Yes. It's not free trade when they're rigging it against us and charging us to send our products over there. So the question is, Stephen, if they're putting tariffs on us, hurting our workers, hollowing out places from Middletown, Ohio, to parts of Appalachia, why can't we put in place a deterrent that says, look,
what's Kamala gonna fucking do? Well, hopefully someone asks him, but you gotta, I mean, it should be part of the fucking conversation because he did say, did he? No, he said Trump's economic plan wouldn't really do much. that one wasn't really for, hey, what's Kamala going to do? But I'm almost definitely certain someone's going to bring it up.
If you're going to rig the system against American workers, we are going to level the playing field. We got a real problem in this country, by the way.
If this was
Half of
real
work-
quick,
Stephen,
you asked me a question. Whatever economic plan or whatever you're talking about using tariffs, sure, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Whatever you're saying has nothing to do with the Trump administration. What you're saying is you're talking about getting into a tariff war to try to bring tariffs down or to force somebody to engage in negotiations to bring tariff down in order to re-enter trade agreements, kind of like when Donald Trump renegotiated NAFTA into the U.S. Mexico-Canada trade
Absolutely.
agreement, right?
And
But
you know,
however,
he used-
but you can't just say
Stephen,
Donald Trump
he
doesn't
used
say
the threat of tariffs
that's
to
great,
bring them to
but
the
Donald Trump is
negotiating
not
table.
talking about using tariffs to get more people to negotiate. He wants to create an autarky. That's his goal. Do you acknowledge that Donald Trump wants us to manufacture everything at home? That's all his rhetoric. Do you acknowledge he doesn't say that?
No, Stephen, just 1 second.
Yeah.
He wants us to employ the working men and women of this country to give them a fair shot. We're
Unemployment
losing
is already
100,000
less
people to
than 5%.
opioids every year.
We're already
We're
below-
losing 900 people.
We're already below what the employment should be. We're already below 5%.
Stephen, 7 million working age men are not in the labor
That's a
force.
great number. I don't know what that number. Hold on. Do you acknowledge that?
Hold on.
Do you-
Stephen, just 1 sec. Half of working age men who are not
It's getting back to our status quo, Barton. I had too much faith.
in the labor force are taking opioid painkillers every day. The broken industrial
And you
policies
think
of this
having-
country
you think
from
having
George
the
Bush
manufactured shoes that
to
are
Bill
made in China
Clinton.
to Mexico, is that a problem?
No, Stephen.
This has
No,
to
does
do
New Balance make in America? Yes or no?
I don't think
Does
this
New
is
Balance make in
anything.
America?
I don't know. For the finally assembly,
Yes,
maybe? Okay.
Yes, they do. But here's the thing,
What's the point of that?
Stephen.
Do you think we can manufacture every single good?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
What is the goal of 1,000 or 500 or whatever?
Where Tesla's made? Where Tesla's made? Where's the best-selling car in America made? In the world, rather. Where's it made?
When you say
right here in
where's-
America.
Oh, excuse me. Best-selling car in America? I don't know about, really? Really? Have you never seen the inside of a 2022 Ford F-150, good buddy? Like, come on.
Hold on. What do you mean by every single part?
No, the final assembly, a large.
Do you understand that yesterday when Donald Trump was doing an interview with Bloomberg, he made fun of that. Donald Trump shit on companies like Tesla when he said, we do the final assembly here, we could have children do that. It's just throwing together Legos. Donald Trump doesn't like final assembly. Donald Trump wants not just the Tesla final assembly, but all the batteries, all the steel, every single component of that made in America. Again, your plan sounds great. That sounds like an ordinary, like decent economic plan. Donald Trump's plan is autarky. It's ridiculous.
I'm glad you like my plan. Thanks.
Okay, if you run for president, I'll support it.
I appreciate it.
Okay. Yep.
All right, so if Trump is going to be bad for inflation, why is it that when he left office in 2021, inflation was at like almost an all-time low, practically non-existent at 1.4%. As soon as he left, that's when inflation started rising with the Biden-Harris administration. If he's going to be bad at inflation, why was the economy so good his whole 4 years? If you look at
It's a good question to come in and ask.
all the polls from any news site, even CNN, which is more left-leaning, you'll see that all people in general say that they trust Trump more with the
What did
economy.
Donald Trump do that made the economy so good in those 4 years?
The question should be, what did he not do? He didn't do anything.
Exactly, I agree. He didn't do anything.
He didn't do
So
anything bad. He
He
stayed
didn't
good the
have
entire
to do anything
time.
because the economy had been growing ever since Obama brought us to the end of the 2007 collapse. Again, another Democrat president comes in, whether it's 2008 with Obama inheriting a housing crisis, or whether it's 2020 with Biden coming in having to deal with COVID. Yeah, he had to come in and spend like
You
crazy.
can't blame everything on COVID, okay?
You can blame a lot on COVID. It was a really big deal, but we are doing better than all the other countries right now. I agree. Under Biden, that's true. Yes.
Yeah, and when Trump left office, he was also in the middle of COVID too, and inflation was still at 1.4%. Why is it triple? Why is it
Donald Trump spent like the first
triple
year of or the first like month of COVID pretending it didn't exist. I don't know if he was like the leader to point to about that.
Okay, well-
I just don't know what's one policy that Donald Trump has given if he comes back to office and help inflation. Just one.
He's gonna be good.
How did this dude who's been trying to get this conversation get immediately booted? I want a fucking recount.
Tariffs, and he's
That makes things more
he's also
expensive.
going to be
Pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seats.
Yep. Okay.
Finally, a woman. That's.
Did you?
Okay, so
Did I misgender? I'm in trouble.
the Congressional Budget Office in the 1980s reported that $1 to $3 billion was spent on illegal immigrants who were coming in and basically feeding off of public services. So what I don't really find appealing is that you get a lot of conversation from the right and the left asking basically everyone except Latinos what they think about this issue, okay? Because it affects us. It affects the fact that we're here, we've crossed legally, and then we're getting our image basically affected by the fact that we have criminals killing Americans, by the way. Let me just give you a few names who have died basically at hands of illegal criminals.
Thank God. See, I like this person already. This he, she, they, them brought notes. This is what we need more of. All you fucking nitwits. You don't fucking keep up. You don't bring any numbers. You're just spouting shit. It's awesome.
Lincoln Riley, which people know, Christopher Gadd, Travis Wolf, Alex
What is it?
Wise.
What is
Do you
it?
not care about these names?
No, I don't care about these names.
Oh, you don't? Oh, well,
Oh, good Lord. There you go. That's your entry. Get him.
that's
We're having a policy discussion? No. Do you
So
want to
this
start naming
one-
off like every black person that gets killed by a
this
police
one-
officer or whatever?
so
You don't
look
need to be
at-
LM tactics. I mean, we can do that, but like, no, I don't care.
A 12-year-old Travis Scott, a baby by 2 years old.
All death, all murder.
You
is
have a son,
tragic,
right?
But what is the?
You have a son, right?
It's nothing to do
So
with
if your son was
competition.
killed at the hands of an illegal immigrant who was a criminal, you would care about this other
I would also
person.
care if he was killed by a 15. I would kill him. I would kill him in a school shooting.
So
What do you mean? What's the point?
wouldn't you be there
You think my son's actually
advocating
killed
for
by-
the southern
you
border
think
to
that
be
my son-
closed? You would be.
You think that my son's
You would
actually
be.
being killed in a
You
school
would be.
shooting or by
It
an illegal
debunks
immigrant?
you. It
What do you
debunks you.
think?
So you don't want to answer the
What do you think
question.
about illegal
If your son was killed as a victim at the hands of an illegal criminal, by the way,
You know what's sick about this is that conversation gets had about another issue in this country. That of, oh, do you have a son? Let me list off all these names of children of who've died from this subject. Does anyone realize where that talking point also gets brought up and also gets ignored? When it's time to talk about our bi-monthly school shooting or mass shooting, depending on how the shooter feels that fucking day.
There's a watch list of many people, terrorist groups and organizations that have been coming into our country, and it is very well known. Look, let me tell you. Okay?
Okay, I'm sorry, you've been voted out by the majority.
Of course, you vote the bitch out who has the receipts. See? How do you vote the one person out who comes with information? What the fuck? Yeah. That dumbass who's like, oh, Jubilee brings on right wingers. He should have fucking bitched about how this system on Surrounded is terrible. This is biased. This is biased shit. This person had receipts. You got other motherfuckers coming up on this motherfucker just spouting shit with nothing. Trump supporters are garbage and transphobic. What the fuck is this? I can't tell if this fucker's trans, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm on their side. They win. They were the ones who got cheated the most. Fuck.
Oh, okay.
So, as everybody's already discussed, tariffs
And this fucking hop, skipping a junk is probably getting more this wild ass thing to say.
are actually beneficial to American manufacturing. Ivanka Trump brought Louis Vuitton manufacturing back to America, something that was considered unheard of.
Why do you think every single economist hates tariffs?
Why do you hate American manufacturing?
I hate America.
And we're back to the fucking scheduled program.
I don't know. What kind of question?
No, because manufacturing jobs actually bring people out of.
And they're smiling. They see, this is why this shit don't matter. Because it's not about actually proving your stance. It's about a gotcha. You notice how this fucker asked the question and then responded, oh, why do you hate American manufacturing? And they cut to all these fucking idiots smiling.
Out of poverty. So what is your problem with manufacturing in America?
My problem is in America, because we're such an educated country and because we're such an advanced country, we can do more with our manufacturing than making the most bare bones things that other countries might be better suited towards creating. So the reason why Elon Musk came to America.
What a whiff.
So you prefer other people doing our manufacturing?
To do basic manufacturing, we can do more. We can do more
You're saying that
complicated.
the lowest rung of our population isn't important enough to actually provide them a job, even if it is a manufacturing job.
They have jobs.
What is the jobs? The ones that are being taken by the
we have less than 5% unemployment. What are they doing for work?
Taken by the immigrants?
Because the immigrants are coming here not
yo soy la población que más afecta a estos policías.
You in America, speak my language. Because that's what you fuckers told me. That you come to this country, learn the language. You motherfuckers jumped down my throat when I didn't co-sign that dumb fuck. Telling me, hey, he's got to come in here and learn our language. Hey, come learn our language, puta. Has this turned into a yelling match yet? This one specifically is about to reach it. You know what, Ahsoka? I've been cheated. There's two people who came in with receipts, information, but because it was too boring for all these dipshits, they voted them out. Fucking shit ain't fair. I hate when people actually bother to take it seriously.
De veras. Tienes que aprender español, mijo.
Not very well. Something about policies affecting you. I don't know what.
Yeah, my community is the one who's going to be affected by the policies that are
what are you talking about? What policy?
Kamala Harris's policies and Trump's policies. We benefited. My community benefited.
Why? From what policy?
Because when you bring in an unskilled labor population, they're going to compete with Americans who are also low-skilled workers.
Oh, so Americans suck.
Do you think that we have an?
You don't think I can teach Maria or Juanita to pick up a pair of scissors and groom a dog's hair? Because I've done that before. And you know what? I can replace anybody. That's called being a low-skilled worker.
Wait a minute. Don't people hate you because you take their American job? They take their jobs!
Anybody crossing the border can do that. You don't need a degree. You don't need a diploma to do these jobs.
But we do have
these
degrees.
jobs,
Americans do not have the most productive labor force in the world because we do basic manufacturing
You
jobs.
don't think these low-skilled jobs are important. You don't think these low-skilled jobs are important. That's very sad. That's very sad that you don't care about low-skilled
in the United States than just base manufacturing. We are the world's most sophisticated.
Why shouldn't we do more base manufacturing?
You don't have 50 hours in a day. You can do more than that. Why would we let other countries?
The reason that manufacturers choose to go out of the country is because America has to pay for things like labor laws, employment, insurance, all these other facets. That's why these big.
Oh my God. Listen, I don't know who's in charge of editing this shit. Somebody's got to stop panning to whoever that is.
Go out of the country is because America has to pay for things like labor laws, employment, insurance.
Are you okay?
All these other facets.
Are you okay? You look look a little malnourished there.
That's why these big corporations will go to places like China. I have a company called BYD in my backyard that brings in Chinese immigrants and pays them Chinese wages in America. And my representative, Mike Garcia, got that organization defunded because with federal funding, my taxes
think it'd be better if we
going
paid- so we
to a
need to pay-
Chinese
so we need
company
to pay-
in my
so we
backyard.
need to pay-
I would rather
yeah.
pay American workers
$2 an hour to make products.
I'd
Maybe
rather
bigger companies shouldn't exist in America. Maybe go to China and make a company. Go to China and make a company. That would be better. We should do that. Yes, I'm arguing that American workers can earn more money than
you are very sad.
Ahsoka, you got what you wanted.
You don't love America.
Elon
You are
Musk-
proving that you
Elon
don't love
Musk-
America because you don't want Americans to benefit. You don't want American manufacturing to lift people out of poverty. That is sad.
Hey, what's up?
So we already talked about inflation 1.9 under Trump. I think you guys like to leave out deficit spending, which was 8.2 trillion under Biden and 6.7 under Trump.
Why was it so much higher under Biden?
You could say during COVID, but you could also bring in the tax. The total revenue during Biden and Trump was close to the same, and he was spending almost double the amount each year. You could also
Why
talk
was-
about
why
the
was- why
Federal
was Trump
Reserve
running such
printing
huge deficits?
printing
You're not gonna
16
answer that
trillion. Can you repeat the question? I
Why
was
did
talking
Donald
to you.
Trump? Why did yeah? Because you want to get Sheldon to explain. Why did Donald Trump engage in massive deficit spending?
Why did Donald Trump engage in massive deficit spending? I don't know the answer. Can you answer?
Yeah, because he likes to spend. Because it makes the economy look better.
Okay, so the same thing that Biden and Harris does.
Yeah, but they have a reason because they're coming in under
at an increasing
rate to stave off recession.
Okay,
Yes,
and what about the
yes.
Federal Reserve printing $16 trillion in 2 years?
What about the Federal Reserve?
From 2021
The Federal Reserve's monetary policy
Because
is
my
separate
point
from
is,
the
you like to blame
inflation,
inflation only on COVID. You don't want to take in deficit spending. You don't want to take in the Federal Reserve printing money. You also don't
If you
want
want to talk about the Federal Reserve rates were not only low under Trump, he pressured them to be low. He literally bragged about it in his interview, and he said that when he comes back in, one of his goals is to keep the federal interest rates low. He talked about bringing Jerome Powell into his office and threatening him to keep the rates low. So if you don't like deficit spending, if you don't like the Federal Reserve's monetary policy, if you don't like free money, then it feels like Donald Trump's literally the worst case for you.
Well, wouldn't you say that deficit spending is causing inflation? So doesn't that take more?
They cheered for the yelling pendejo. Hey, because this fucking puta. It's more entertaining for these putas to come in here and fucking yell. Where's my sombrero?
Money away from Americans by your logic?
I don't know if it takes more money away from America, but deficit spending can
So
lead
on
to-
higher inflation doesn't take money away from Americans?
It can. It's more complicated, but yeah, it can. But I'm saying that deficit spending in and of itself is generally inflation. If there are reasons why you might want to deficit spend. For instance, it's better to have some inflation than just to have a recession or full depression, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that. Now, you bring up tariffs. Now, why did we extend them under Biden, and then why did we double the tariffs from Canada as well? Tariffs are so bad. So when Biden does it, it's okay, but when Trump installs them, they're horrible.
So the issue is
It's a good question. It's a good question. Barton, we're back. Barton, we're back.
specific tariffs as retaliation because somebody else might be tariffing something if they're engaging in that, then that type of thing, as we discussed earlier, I think is okay. The reason why a lot of them came in under Trump and they weren't rescinded under Biden is because once somebody's put a tariff in place and then a counter tariff comes up, you have to engage in a negotiation to bring them down. You can't take yours down unilaterally because you're
So do you think all economists agree that 10% tariff is bad?
Yes.
You should look at the study 2019 by Jenny King, Brent Newman.
I would never look at a single study on that, no.
Increase in inflation.
That's time. Please return to your seat.
My next claim is Donald Trump is a fascist.
Oh, Lord. I don't think we're getting common ground on this one. I think that one was pretty good. That conversation was pretty good. So that's 3. So far, we've gotten 3 decently good conversations. I've enjoyed it. Is everyone going to get up? You missed 20 minutes ago when somebody leapt through the fucking air to get in that chair and they still lost. So let's see what fucking occurs on the standpoint of Trump's a fascist.
Hello, Andrew.
Oh, it's the fucking dirty ass fucking weeb.
Hello, Destiny. Destiny, can you define fascism?
I would say the 2 big points for fascism would be ultranationalism and authoritarianism.
Okay, what is authoritarianism?
I would say that authoritarianism is trying to centralize as much power in like a structural sense into one part of the government, and then in a broader sense, it usually means undermining a bunch of liberal values that you would finally see in the
So then how is it that every part of the government which accrues more and more power to itself every single year aren't a bunch of fascists?
Because the government gaining power doesn't necessarily make it fascist, because there might be governmental overreach.
I'm not even sure. What is fascist here, Destiny? What is fascism?
I said-
Giovanni Gentili, we have definitions of what fascism is. We have third parties who are out there right now who are fascists. They claim Trump is a populist. Can you tell me why they're wrong and why you're right that he's a
Well, I would have
fascist?
to know their exact reasons for why they reject Trump being a fascist, but I would say that Trump is a fascist because he's an ultranationalist
These are
and
your
authoritarian.
claims. These are your claims.
I'm not
right?
claiming anything that those people
You
said. I
claim
gave my
that
definition for fascist. I gave the 2 parts. I can
Okay,
explain them
so let's start with ultra-authoritarian.
Why is it ultranationalist and authoritarian?
What is ultranationalism?
So I think ultranationalism is when you engage in a hardcore protectionist ideology that usually involves shutting yourself out from the rest of the world. That could be in forms of international affairs like military conflicts, and it could be in the forms of ultra-protectionist in terms of trade and shutting down things like immigration in order to protect your own native peoples. Oftentimes it's a heavily racialized element, but it might not have to be.
Okay, well, Donald Trump, you're not saying has a heavy racialized element, are you?
I'm in the I don't really care that much. I think that he
Okay.
qualifies or satisfies the term without that. But
Okay, so let's dive into this real quick. If you have a president who doesn't want to get involved in foreign affairs as far as wars go, and has some type of policies which benefit the United States over all other nations, is he fascist?
No.
Well, I'm still confused as to what makes Trump a
That's
fascist.
because I had 2 parts of that, and you missed the authoritarian one.
Yeah,
You described that before, which is like protection.
Well, when you said authoritarian, what is he doing? Which is accumulating all power to himself.
So he's trying to centralize power in the executive branch of the government, and specifically in the presidential part of the government, of the executive branch.
How?
How Donald Trump thinks that he should be able to unilaterally make decisions up and down all of the different departments and offices that exist in the executive branch.
Presidents use executive orders all the time.
That's not what an executive order is.
Presidents unilaterally make decisions
We're not talking about Iran or China. We're talking about Donald Trump.
all the time.
Stay on course.
Don't?
Yes, they do.
No,
They
they
do. They use executive orders all the time.
An executive order doesn't mean that you.
Barton had the right outlook on responding to that. Stay on course. Don't bring up other countries.
For taking power away from the departments and offices that have been created.
Right, so where's the fascism here?
Would you like me to give you specific
Yes,
examples?
give me the specific example.
Sure. So when Donald Trump didn't like the answer that he was getting from his attorney general because he was trying to direct the Department of Justice to do investigations or to fabricate claims, that would be an example of trying to centralize power just to the president because he's undermining his own department that's been created for him that's supposed to have some level of independence, that's tasked with doing investigations.
Let me ask you a question. Is the President of the United States Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the United States?
I believe so.
You believe so?
Well, something's changed
Do they
recently,
have control of the entire military apparatus, essentially, as the Commander-in-Chief?
Commander-in-Chief, yes.
Yeah. Is that fascist?
No.
So they have basically almost unilateral control by your own metrics of the most mighty military on
He's getting them. He's getting them.
Planet Earth. That's not accumulating enough power, centralized control to one person. It's the fact that he tried to slay some electors. Really?
So the president being the commander-in-chief is specifically laid out in the Constitution. That's an authority granted to him. I don't know what's fascist about
Well,
that.
because you said it's ultra power. It's this idea of
I
having,
didn't say anything
having
about
central
the
power.
military.
If you have the central
I
power,
never bring that up for him. But
if you have the central power of the most mighty military on planet Earth and the codes to the largest nuclear armament on planet Earth, you already have all of the central power, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
How do the nuclear codes help you structure the Department of Justice?
Okay, I'm sorry. Is he the commander-in-chief of the United States Armed Forces?
Are you just arguing that he's the commander? I already agree. I don't know what you're
I'm arguing to you.
I'm asking you, how does the commander-in-chief use the military?
Aldini, don't go negative. It's starting. It's getting good. This might be number 4. Stop always wanting to be negative.
Ask me. It's your claim. I'm asking you about your claim.
So
your claim
how does that make him control the DOJ? How does the military help him control the DOJ?
Back up. That is the most powerful position I can think of for you to be in. Period. How could you
powerful position?
What more accumulation of power would you want for a fascist dictator?
Okay, so that's powerful in that you control the military. That's it. That's just control the military. For the FBI coming to your house to arrest you, for the DOJ filing charges.
The military to do it.
No, the president doesn't do that.
Never mind, Aldini. You were right.
No, I don't believe that you can. I don't think you can. I don't think that you can deploy the military to arbitrarily arrest U.S. citizens.
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
All right, it got good. Oh, God. They clap after everything. I mean, fine. You might perceive yourself as winning. You might perceive yourself as winning there. So, fine. God damn it. Stop bringing him up.
Okay, you're not voting for Trump. No, I am. I think we can have a respectful policy disagreement without labeling one side or the other fascist or communist or Marxist. So let's have a policy disagreement here. You think Donald Trump is a fascist because of ultranationalist tendencies and authoritarianism, correct?
Yeah.
So let me just draft this vision and see if it makes sense. The authoritarian
crowd sucks at voting. That is true. I don't like how people who are just talking get up there. I'm still salty how someone with notes got voted off.
Is ruling by presidential decree, prosecuting political opponents, bringing power into the government, and abandoning our allies abroad. That sounds a lot like the Biden-Harris administration.
So I would say that, we'll go point by point. So first of all, when we talk about abandoning allies abroad, are we referring to, so we haven't cut funding from Israel, are we referring to when Donald Trump abandoned the Turkish people, or abandoned the Kurdish people to Turkish attacks in Syria? Are we talking about when the Trump administration cut out the Afghanistan government in the Doha Accords when they were talking with the Taliban, when Donald Trump started with the Taliban? Or are we talking about when Biden tried to support Ukraine with the full force of not only the United States economy and our moral support, but also by getting Europe on board to help Ukraine? The idea that the Biden-Harris administration abandoned our foreign partners is nonsense to me. And also, it's not just about making the government more powerful. I know that Andrew tried to remember that. It's about centralizing power within the government.
Right, and wiping off student loan debts at the expense of working class Americans. I understand that. But
hold on. Wiping out student loan government, the citation for that was was a bill that was passed from Congress. Biden tried to do that because of during, it was like extraordinary times you could do something and he tried to stretch it to that. But the Supreme Court said no, and then he didn't do it.
Okay, the Supreme Court had to intervene, right?
Well, the Supreme Court made a ruling on it because it was challenged. That's the government working as
and he stopped trying to do that right afterward, right? He said, I'm not going to do this anymore, or did he say, I'm
going to use my power of one right to say that I love you. What?
To keep delivering on this promise.
I think he explored other legal avenues to do it.
Okay, well, legal remains to be seen, but let's talk about...
He hasn't done anything illegal, right?
Okay, let's talk about...
He hasn't done anything illegal, right?
We're talking about...
Okay, there's no answer to that. Okay.
Let's talk about October 7th. October 7th would not have happened if President Trump was in office. Ukraine would not have been invaded by Russia if President Trump was in office. You can call him crazy, you can call him anything. He was an effective deterrent because he understood, Stephen, a little thing we like to call peace through strength. Here's the truth.
The truth is October 7th probably happened likely because of Trump and his policies.
Well, why is it? Holy moly, why is that?
Why is that?
Yes, please.
The reason why is because Donald Trump engaged in more reckless behavior with Israel that only encouraged Israel's expansionism without doing anything to actually address the Palestinian problem. For instance, Donald Trump agreed to moving and recognizing the moving of the embassy to Jerusalem that instigated everybody in the region, including the Palestinians, which is why you saw the whole border riots, the Great March of Return that erupted over the year protesting that. And then Donald Trump, along with Kushner, tried to help Israelis negotiate multilateral peace agreements or more bilateral peace agreements with the Abraham Accords, again, while cutting out the Palestinians. All of this just continued to drive the Palestinian plight further and further because they saw more and more allies being isolated from them. They saw no recognition from the United States. And then obviously, terrorist attacks is all you can do from that point, apparently. So
Trump...
How close is the crowd to realizing that their worst characterizations apply to both? Boy, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Do you know why that's not going to happen? It's because it's easier to point the finger. Pointing the finger is fun for a lot of people who get real mad when you point that finger right back.
Moved an embassy, got Muslim-majority countries for the first time ever to recognize the rightful existence of the Jewish state of Israel, and that justifies the heinous attack we saw on October 7th, where we killed over 1,000...
Well,
you said that Trump was responsible for October 7th.
Donald Trump and his foreign policy posturing is what moved us in that direction.
President Biden was in office for 3 years before October 7th happened. How possibly could that be Trump's fault?
What did Biden do to contribute to the conditions that made October 7th happen?
Very clear, very clear. Iran was only exporting 150,000 barrels of oil a day under Trump. Now they're exporting 1.6 million. They're making hundreds of billions of dollars a year more. That emboldens them to give their proxies weapons, money, and the vigor to attack the Jewish state. And that is unacceptable in the international community. Let me tell you
the only reason that Hamas attacked Israel, you think the only reason they were able to do it is because of increased Iranian funding?
Who funds Hamas?
In part, it's Iran, but Hamas is funding from all sorts of different
Who
ventures.
funds Iran?
They get money from Qatar, right?
Who funds? Okay. Who funds Hamas? Of course they do.
Right? Probably
Who gives
more money.
No.
It might have been Qatar, I think, actually.
Well, they give them a Ritz-Carlton hotel room, but listen.
No, they were transferring a whole lot of money to the Gaza Strip. That was one of the big things, one of the big scandals that Netanyahu was involved in, was allowing the money to pass through to the Gaza Strip.
Steve, let's just do some quick logical reasoning here. If Iran gets more money, that's good for Hamas, right? You agree on that? Come on.
Broadly speaking,
yeah, come on. Just concede one thing, Stephen. Come on.
Broadly speaking, probably, yeah.
Okay. All right.
There's more at play here that I'm not even sure if you're aware of. So the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, has some amount of money that's guaranteed to regardless of whether exporting or importing to the country. But in general, I agree with you, sure, yeah.
You know what? I'm glad that President Trump ordered the assassination of Qasem Soleimani because that man is responsible for death and destruction. The targets he made on the Jewish state were completely unacceptable. Stephen,
I don't think the targeting of American citizens in Iraq was unacceptable. I have no love lost for Soleimani. I'm glad that he's dead. I'm not going to sit here and defend it, but Donald Trump doesn't do anything good foreign policy-wise for Israel. He doesn't have a vision for the region. That's why he had to basically leave all of it to his son-in-law Kushner.
But why was Crimea annexed under Obama? Why was Ukraine invaded under Biden? Why did nothing happen under Trump for 4 years? It was a complete stalemate, complete instability.
Crimea was still occupied, right?
Okay, but it was annexed under who?
Hold on. It was still occupied, right?
Of course.
Okay, wait. There was a civil war that was raging in the Donbass the entire time, right?
Accelerate. Did it accelerate? Was there new land
Yes, there was
claims?
not new land claims, but the civil war in the Donbass. No, but the civil war in the Donbass was still going on. What did Donald Trump do about that?
The world is safer under President Trump.
It
The world was safer
absolutely
under
not.
President Trump. The world knows that, Stephen, and the world's going to show that on November 5th.
Okay.
Who do y'all think is going to win the election? I, for one, and still don't know. It's really difficult to really put my eggs into a basket when I feel like I'm doomed either way.
So would you attribute fascism to maybe a dictator?
I mean, a dictator could be fascistic, sure.
Okay. So on Biden's first day in office, he signed 17 executive orders. Trump signed one. Most of the executive orders that Biden signed were to halt like the border and other Trump immigration policies.
I don't think executive orders have anything to do with fascism.
Would you attribute those to being a dictator?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Okay. Well, then what other claim do you have that he is a fascist compared to?
I think that Donald Trump reaching into and trying to direct his apartments to do probably illegal things.
Well, Biden did that too with Facebook. He came out and said, Zuckerberg came out and said that Biden and Harris came to him to pretty much limit what Trump.
I don't think that was the claim. I think that what Zuckerberg said was that he felt pressured by some of the intelligence agencies to censor stories that they had censored, and he felt like he regretted that or
Like that laptop, for example?
Well, that wasn't done because of any direct pressure from any of the intelligence agencies who saw that in the Twitter files. There was never a claim.
Well, then why would Zuckerberg come out and say, I'm not going to...
Well, I'm not going to Twitter files. Zuckerberg had his reasons that he listed in his letter to
Right.
Jordan, but none of this was illegal.
Well, I'm not saying it's illegal, but I'm saying, would you not say that's kind of dictatorial, kind of fascist?
No, I don't think so. It's all like out in the open.
Well,
Like at the end of the year, like Twitter and Facebook are
Let's
publishing
say,
like how much they're
let's say
charging.
that the roles were reversed, and then Trump did that to Biden. Would you then call him fascist for doing that?
For doing what?
For pressuring, as you said, Zuckerberg or Meta to limit...
If Donald Trump's intelligence agencies had felt like there was like information that was being illegally offered into the United States from foreign enemies or whatever, and that department was like...
Did the guy who jumped get too hurt to go there? I think he got his moment. Now he's just like sitting there waiting to go home, which is a horrendous way to go about this.
The laptop was
No, but that was the word. That wasn't proving anything. That was the fear, and that was the fear that they had shared with those companies. They didn't force them directly to take any action. Again, we can read the Twitter files. We can go through the emails.
I'm not talking about Facebook. I'm talking about Meta.
For Facebook, Zuckerberg also didn't allege any illegal action. He just said there was pressure from some of the agencies because to like censor what they perceived to be as threats or misinformation or whatever. I think some of that had to do like COVID misinformation issues as well. I think.
Okay.
Which we can argue like should they have the role to do that? I just don't know if that's necessarily fascistic like Donald Trump trying to direct his DOJ to like go after certain people or trying to direct his DOJ to like.
Biden's done that with all the.
There's zero evidence for any of that, and probably it's almost certainly not true. If you look at how Merrick Garland has gone after, for instance, his son.
Okay, pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seats.
I'm Tia, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I wanted to hone in on the part about nationalism. Can you explain that again in a little bit more detail?
Sure. So I would say more ultranationalism than just nationalism, but it's this idea that, you know, basically screw the rest of the world. We're going to hardcore cut immigration. We're going to hardcore cut our trade. We're going to hardcore cut our association with anybody else, and we're just going to be like our own.
Even if Trump wins, I highly doubt. Like, that's another thing. Now that I've seen at least twice these fuckers try to book Trump, I'm gonna be shocked if on Inauguration Day they're not doing that from inside the building. I'm gonna be shocked if that doesn't occur inside the building. That's a bold move. That's gonna be some shit where they gotta just lock that shit behind closed doors, put it on TV, let everybody see, and tell everybody, all right, America, go home.
Own little basically island nation. I think is a very bad direction to go in.
And who's taking us in that direction?
I think that's what Donald Trump wants to do.
Wants to do. He was in office for 4 years. Did he do that?
Well, Donald Trump began some terror processes. He tried to
So
do a
he
full
didn't do
Muslim
that for
ban.
4 years?
He
He's gonna do
took
that
steps
now,
towards
right?
that. He took steps
So
towards
I'm
that, right?
curious
You acknowledge that he did try
you're
to
an
ban 7 Muslim
American?
majority countries, right?
You're a US
He did do that. He did do terror. So you acknowledge that, right?
Do you like
And he
being
did-
an American?
I know he-
Are you glad
yes.
to be able to live here?
I'm glad to be able to live
Oh, good Lord.
here. Am I glad to be an American? I am, but I don't know what that means to you. But to me,
Which is interesting because something that I've started to realize in the last few years is people who love America, who love living here, have been titled nationalists, and it's like a threat all of a sudden.
people that label themselves MAGA that say they love America have nothing to do with American values and nothing in common with the core values of this country. So they're
Please
at least
explain.
American people.
Please explain.
Sure, the desire to elect somebody who says the most obviously fascist things in the world, like the media is the enemy of the people, a guy who says he wants to terminate the Constitution, a guy who says he'd be a dictator on
Who's
day one.
terminating the
Donald Trump said that he believes he can terminate the Constitution because of
It's so
vote.
crazy because I've been hearing a lot lately from your side that the Constitution isn't necessary.
Oh, I'm sorry. Which lawmaker or presidential candidate said that?
Your side.
Which is that?
Which one? You would need to say which. Fuck. You should be able to name somebody on the Democratic side. I would argue it wouldn't be that difficult. You know how easy it is for fuckers to just scream out Biden at everything? Say a name.
Name first and last, your side, like this side, or is she a congressman, or is she a senator? Or I don't know which leader has said that, so I can't speak to that. I don't know. Who
So anyways, as an American.
But anyway, you acknowledge Donald Trump said that in time.
Wait a minute. Did she say a name?
Oh, I'm sorry. Which lawmaker or presidential candidate said that?
Your side.
Which is that the name first and last, your side, like this side, or is she a congressman, or is she a senator? Or?
So no, I didn't get a full name. Okay.
I don't know which leader has said that, so I can't speak to that. I don't know. Who
So anyways, as an American.
But anyway, you acknowledge Donald Trump said that in times of like great peril, you can suspend the Constitution, and that he would do that for voter fraud.
For voter fraud?
He said that, yes, on Truth Social.
On December 3rd, 2022, Trump wrote on Truth Social that alleged 2020 election fraud could justify terminating rules and parts of the Constitution. After backlash, he clarified when there is massive and widespread fraud and deception, steps must be immediately taken to right the wrong. Which is the same thing.
Social, he said that.
I'm sure there's a longer quote that I can look up later. I would love to do that, but I'm sure you're using it out of context.
Okay, you'll look it up later and you won't ever talk about it again because it's an important quote. You
How
acknowledge
could you
Donald
know
Trump
me so well?
Because you're on that side, I know.
Okay.
You agree that Donald Trump said that he'd be a dictator on day one?
He did not say he would be a dictator on day one.
During a December 23rd, because they back-to-back these for some reason. Not for some reason, because they need to specify. During a December 2023 town hall on Fox News with Sean Hannity, Trump was asked if he'd be a dictator. He responded, except for day one. I want to close the border, and I want to drill.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So as an American, I believe that it's a privilege and a blessing to live here. And under the Biden and Harris administration, my life has gotten a lot worse and a lot more difficult. Has your life gotten better or has it gotten worse?
I'd say my life's gotten better.
Well, congratulations. You're the only person in this room, maybe. But when I go to the grocery store, and you mentioned about inflation and everything, but when I go to the grocery store and a bag of groceries is like $50 and I have 2 kids to feed, do you think that helps me as an American or do you think that hurts me as an
I
American?
think an expansion of the child tax credit.
I think you should pick yourselves up by the bootstrap. I'm a child.
It would help you a lot more than another tax cut for wealthy billionaires.
A couple $1,000s isn't going to change my life, especially
Another $6,000 a year wouldn't help you at all with groceries.
with 2 children.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Where's the dad? Where's the father? Where's the father in this? He should be out here helping you. He should be the man. I love it.
Much maybe, but if the
What are
price
your
of
children
groceries-
eating?
Okay, pause. You've been voted out by the majority. Please return
Thank
to your
you.
seat.
Nice.
Hi, nice to meet you, Chrissy. So I would like to address, because earlier I feel like this was kind of dodged on a little bit. Earlier you directly said that Trump was authoritarian, then you said he was ultranationalist, and then you said he was authoritarian, then you said he was ultranationalist again. You kind of bounced back and forth. So which do you think?
Well, I say both. He's both, right?
Both, right. But then when he, the topic of ultra...
I just realized because I just looked at the screen again. It's our guy, girl. He got divorced, cucked, and then lost his mind. Did he though? Is that really what we're gonna pin this on? The divorce and cucking? No, we're really pinning this on that. And also, where did his cucking come from? Because I don't feel like that's something he had. I don't know. Maybe he did. I told y'all I really just started watching this fucker with any type of consistency. So if he admitted to getting cucked, well, then I put him in the same category as Sneeko. If we were to ever get into an insult contest, I don't need to say anything. I don't need to make fun of his body. I don't need to make fun of his beard. Nothing. All I can just say is you're a cuck. And at night, you miss your wife who left you for my dick. Like, because I am childish.
Nationalism brought up. You said, well, he's more authoritarian. And then that again changed to, well, he's more ultranationalist. So which, in your mind, is he? Is he more authoritarian or is he more ultranationalist?
I don't know how to answer. It's like asking if a square is more blue or 5 feet.
Well, because you said
Like,
that.
people are
Well, because you said that he was more nationalist, and then you said he was more authoritarian. You said both claims. So
Yeah,
I want to know
he-
which claim is he more nationalist or is he more authoritarian?
I don't know how to say which one he's more of. He's both.
Because
They're
he
not
said that
giving
he was.
me- I don't think I ever said that. I don't. Do you remember what his response to?
The first gentleman who spoke.
Okay, he might have said something like you said that he was ultranationalist. I said yes, and
So another question is,
just being one
why
of these things is enough.
so why is nationalism all even bad in the first place?
I don't know if nationalism is necessarily bad. I think that people kind of swap it out with patriotism sometimes. That's why there's the prefix ultranationalism. Ultranationalism is bad because when you elevate your own country, just
What
like
did he do for ultranationalism?
when he talks about putting tariffs across the board for every single other country on the planet.
So helping our
It's not helping our
economy
economy.
is not.
It wouldn't be helping
So
us
he was
because
not helping our
that's
economy
our
during his presidency when he was actually literally getting us to import rice to China. Rice to China is benefiting our economy. Is that not? Is replacing China as one of China's biggest farming with ours? And as this gentleman also brought up with our manufacturing, how is bringing manufacturing over here, which is helped by tariffs? How is that not?
I heard his wife left him for a femboy in another country. I think y'all focus too much on Destiny's wife. Y'all know whose wife y'all really should have fucking hammered in on for like embarrassing him? Hunter Avalon. I need y'all to look up the ending of Hunter Avalon's relationship. I make the subtle argument that is 1,000 times worse and wouldn't be wished upon on my worst enemy by me.
We manufacture things here. If we got more people manufacturing baser goods, then we can't manufacture more sophisticated goods. There's a reason Elon Musk, because you only have so many people.
Okay, pause. That's time. Please return to your chair.
My next claim is the Make America Great Again movement would not exist without massive amounts of disinformation.
Would it? Let me hear this question again.
My next claim is the Make America Great Again movement would not exist without massive amounts of disinformation.
Could we amend that to say it wouldn't continue without that? Because now maybe there's a great outlier that I'm missing because I wasn't able to vote when Trump first was trying to run the show and then eventually did. But I feel like there wasn't a rampant level of distrust in everything in 2016. It wouldn't be as culty without misinformation. There we go. That might be a better way to look at it. Because the more that shit has just gone Wild West, the more shit has kind of just made everybody scratch their fucking head.
Hello, Destiny.
Hi.
Fancy seeing you here again.
Yep.
Here to bully me some more?
Yep.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Let's get it going. Can you state some of the disinformation?
Trying to think over the past few weeks, we've seen absurd claims relating to hurricanes being manufactured by weather machines. We've seen outright lies about the National Guard and FEMA like blowing away supplies and trapping people in their homes and lying about Biden buttons. We've seen outright.
During hurricanes Helene, I think somebody bitched at me about that because I called it Helen. But fuck, what did you expect from me? What could you have possibly expected from me in that moment? During hurricanes Helene and Milton, Representative Mayor Marjorie Taylor Greene claimed on social media that the government can control the weather. This is false. Current technology only allows for cloud seeding to increase rain. Hurricanes cannot be created.
Right lies about the National Guard and FEMA like blowing away supplies and trapping people in their homes.
FEMA did not disrupt aid. A North Carolina National Guard helicopter delivering a generator flew low over a distribution site but aborted due to crowding. False claims suggested that it was FEMA helicopter trying to blow supplies away with rotor wash.
And lying about Biden providing financial aid to states, even though Trump is the one that has threatened withhold aid. We've seen lies about the Haitians eating dogs and cats and
During a debate with VP Harris, Trump said of Haitian immigrants in Ohio and Springfield, they're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats. The Columbus Dispatch has debunked this statement as false. That didn't stop anybody.
Go on.
Have you I have a few questions.
Yeah.
Have you left the United States?
Yeah.
Where have you been?
I've been through Israel and Palestine. I've gone across Europe. I've been to New Zealand. I've been to places in Asia. I don't know.
Okay, so you're like me. You've been everywhere. So you've seen some of these claims. You've like literally seen them to be true, or that they're false rather. So
I mean, I haven't seen how a hurricane is made.
Okay.
I've talked to every Haitian in Springfield. So.
All right. So what was the second point you brought up?
You can't fucking make you can't do the, you've traveled to all these places, so it must be true or it must be false. You can't. You can't do that. And then when he hammers you on the fucking, hey, if you go to New Zealand, you won't really see a hurricane get created. You can't do that and then pivot. Huh?
About you said something about the camps and not looking that way. That was my point. Have you been to these camps and have you seen the conditions and things?
The FEMA camps?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So exactly. Period. The end. So you're saying no, you haven't, but you're saying it's disinformation. So how do you know that it's disinformation? Which is why I brought the point. Have you left the country? Have you seen?
Because people are having to do their studies and research on this to either prove or deny, which is the job of those people. And also, again, going to another country is not going to solidify the stance of what was going on in North Carolina and fucking Florida. Am I on AIDS?
With your own eyes what's going on in these camps. And
do you understand that for any type of society in an advanced civilization to work, you have to be able to rely on third-party people to report to you things that are true?
Right, but there's so much fake news out there today. Exactly. So my question is to you, though, is that have you seen these claims? Have you seen these places with your own eyes? Do you know what's going on?
No, but I don't have time to verify everything with my own eyes.
I know, because you're too busy teaching gamers how to be nerds
because
out.
I can't verify every single thing in the world with my own eyes.
Just like you couldn't verify the fact that you enjoy getting pegged, right? Actually, you did verify.
There it is.
Anyways, but that was just a.
I know you need a mirror to see that, but I don't know why you'd even. Okay, yeah. Are we going to talk sex for 20 minutes? Or you better.
No. So what other claims were like not valid or false?
How many?
Something else.
I mean, the election, the 2020 election, the voter fraud claims. That were all covered.
You've been voted
all right,
out.
thank you.
Party. Please return to your seat.
Thank God they voted her out because that went nowhere. This is the only 100% I am behind voting them out. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?
I think that both sides thrive on misinformation. I think average people don't have enough time in their lives to decipher what's true and what's not. I think that's the case for most people who work 9 to 5, unfortunately. But I think that your side also thrives off of misinformation. I think that you actually just did the meme a second ago. You said that the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was just tax cuts for the rich. But in fact, people making $50,000 receive a tax cut of $16.
Oh my God, he has notes. I'm immediately on his side. He has notes. He has notes. He has notes. He has notes. I can't tell you how much I enjoy seeing people who come here with proper layers of information. It is needed. It is necessary. I will always be behind it. I do not give a fuck if people view it as boring. I don't give a fuck if people view it as something, a waste of time. Notes. Bring notes. Always bring notes. Please, always. You fuckers don't remember everything. Please bring notes. Destiny has good posture. Sure. I'll say yes to that one. I'll say yes.
20%.
The majority of the money went to wealthy people.
Why is that? It's because wealthy people pay more taxes, Stephen. Yeah. So their share of tax burden is obviously going to be in volume more physical dollars. Yes.
But when it comes to the budget, all that matters is
proportionally.
absolute,
You can see that proportionally, middle class people received more in tax breaks than rich people.
Proportionally to their income.
Yes.
Possibly.
Or their tax burden.
But the problem is the effect at the end of the day on the budget then is going to be the biggest outlay is going to be towards wealthy people, right? Our deficits are increasing because all the money that wealthy people are saving, right?
Okay, sure, fair enough. But I think already, what is 90% of taxes are paid by 50% of the country, and 50% taxes are paid by 1% of the country. I always hear this thing of the billionaires, rich people aren't paying their fair share. But it seems to me that they've been paying more than their fair share since America's inception, and the middle class actually has been paying not their fair share. And I'm not saying that we should increase taxes on the middle class, but what I'm saying is the billionaires are definitely paying their fair share.
No. Why the fuck are they voting him out? Why the fuck are they voting him out? Fuck. What y'all niggas just want to call him a peg master? Fucking D. See?
Yeah, a lot for sure. But if you want to fund all the programs we have, you have to back up
the misinfo thing.
Okay. I agree that both sides engage in misinformation. I just think the conservatives do it all.
In case anybody was wondering, I did up this to 1.7, and we're now at the 1 hour and 22 minute mark of 1 hour and 58 minutes. So we're flying by.
Donald Trump will get up and lie as easily as he breathes. If you watch any of the interviews that he gives, lie after lie after lie.
Same thing with Kamala Harris.
Close to the same.
God.
There's a reason why I asked him, Walls, did you lie? Were you 3 months off when you went to China?
And then he filibustered
for 5 minutes. And it was, do you believe the results of the last election?
Yeah, no, I agree.
These are totally different times. Do you agree? Yeah, these are totally different points, right?
Like saying inflation is lower now than it was under Trump. Pre-COVID inflation rate, 2.4%.
Mother. This is getting sick. All this fucking running, talk to a white boy. How come you don't want to talk to a black African American man?
I don't remember.
Do you remember the video he released at the beginning when he launched his campaign?
For the 2020 election or for the, I don't remember now.
He says because of Charlottesville. And he specifically.
This shit rigged? Yes, it is fucking rigged. I'm still mad about the one person who was calmly speaking with notes that got voted out damn near immediately. Fuck all of these people just for that. I'm pretty certain they said some shit people could disagree with, but I'm still mad at that. I'm traumatized.
Specifically cited that Donald Trump called the Nazis fine people. Do you believe that?
So, yes. I don't know why.
No, I'm sorry.
Hold on, wait. I understand what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say. It's people like to go to. So, some people present this as Donald Trump saying that the Nazis were good people. He didn't. He said there were good people on both sides of that rally, but it was a rally that had Nazis. I don't know in what world you would ever say that. The full quote doesn't exculpate. It's not exculpatory at all.
The full quote, he said the Nazis and white supremacists are completely disavowed. So he disavowed them.
After he was pushed several times to do so.
No, that's not true. He said it in the speech. He said it in the speech. He said it in the speech. And they took him out of context and said that he called them fine people. Right after he said the fine people line, he said disavow the Nazis. So that's a lie that the Biden campaign.
I disagree that it was a lie. His quote on its own of him saying fine people on both sides of a TT tally on a TT rally, that is insanity. That is insanity. It's really easy. This was like a question on a retard test saying hey, listen, here's a rally with a bunch of guys. Sorry, my bad. Grammar language. My bad. Grammar language. There's a rally, and on one side you had a bunch of people with tiki torches. How would you describe the rally? And you go, well, there are fine people on both sides. It's the most easy bait in the world to say. You probably should just say that side is a bad side. Considering how much people claim that you have to disavow all the BLM, all of
it was a protest of the removal of the Confederate statues. There were people that are normal people there.
People that were tiki torches?
That was at the night before. That's above it because he disavowed the Nazis.
You've been voted out. Please return to your seat.
Why? You know what? I'm fine with him being voted out. I hate his shirt. He doesn't know how to rock it.
What's up, Steven?
Who the fuck is this big ass dude? What the fuck? Who is Big Beef Wellington? What the fuck going on here? Who are you? Where the fuck you been at? I didn't notice him at all.
Hey, what's up?
So, tell me, misinformation.
His fucking name is Glenn. This fucker's a cartoon. The beefiest fucking character. Hi, my name is Billy.
You mean like fake dossier?
He's the biggest motherfucker in the room. Hi, my name is Glenn. I play Minecraft on the weekends.
Or like rhetoric that has a president get assassinated, which attempts to get assassinated. You mean like that kind of misinformation that caused 3 assassination attempts?
Do you know why those people tried those assassination attempts?
I don't know. You're your friends, right? Didn't you say like one of the Republicans got shot, right? You had a problem with that, right? So I mean, that's a level of disinformation.
Weren't you them like registered Republicans?
So they say, I think we're watching your content.
Were they watching my content?
That's what they said.
Who's they?
They,
Jews or?
I don't know about that.
Okay,
isn't that the same?
Who's they? Because if we're doing this funny little game, do y'all realize that there's a school shooting where one of the guys was an avid Tim Pool fan.
Misinformation, the dossiers, the rhetoric that he's a bad guy to ruin the country.
Can you slow it down a bit? No, because we're gonna be here for another 3 hours.
Oh, you know, like the one that Hillary Clinton bought, right? You know,
the one that was published by
the one,
BuzzFeed Media.
the fake one. You know,
I don't know
the one that
if
led
that
that whole
was
FBI, investigation that wasted.
I actually might have to slow it down a bit because apparently everybody decided they wanted to talk fast all at once.
A whole bunch of Americans' money, right?
Okay. Well, no, I don't think I would say. I think that the Mueller investigation turned out more credible indictments and information than the Hillary Clinton email investigation, than the whole Benghazi waste of time.
Yeah,
and
but it
almost
was all that,
everything related to
all
Hunter
that
Biden's
stuff
son.
that came from the Democrat Party, all that fake news, right? Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know. I don't know if you call it fake news. It was a dossier that they paid for to be researched by a person. I mean, they said that there was low confidence in a lot of it. Just like, for instance, would you acknowledge that all this about Hunter Biden and his illegal dealings with Burisma and Joe Biden, like profiting off that, that's all fake news too?
No, I just know he does a lot of cocaine.
Okay.
Do you do cocaine with him?
No, I don't.
You coon with them?
They found a bunch of internet. I completely rescind whatever the fuck I said earlier about them looking for reasonable people. They most likely found, and they're not voting him out. What the fuck? I just looked at the bottom left corner. There's no flags. They found the bottom of the barrel, low IQ motherfuckers with hints of people with a brain. And this is what they got up there. So you wanted us to slow this down for this?
Not recently, no.
Because you are the Coomer Gremlin, right?
Am I the Coomer Gremlin?
The Coomer Gremlin. You know what, class? That's strike 1 and 2.
Well, we know you are.
Yeah, like Donald Trump is when he was like
No.
a prostitute, like 4 years or 4 months after his wife had a child at home when he was cheating with Stormy Daniels.
You mean like how you
remember
take your
that?
wife to go get banged
I'm
out
not
by a
running for
bunch of dudes and
president.
suck
Am I
the
running for
dude's
president
dick?
right now? Are
You
you
know,
going to vote for me or?
No, I wouldn't vote for
do you.
you,
Remember?
though.
So do you remember when Donald Trump was fucking Stormy Daniels?
No, but do you remember
4
when you were
months
sucking the
after?
dick on,
4
like,
months
podcast or
after?
something,
4 months
like
after
some
she had a
chick like
child.
Robbie
You remember
Clark,
that?
right? You remember that?
You notice that?
Remember that?
I like that the standard that you set for me is the same as you set for your president. I'm not running
I'm
for
not running
president.
for
You
president.
understand
You're not
that,
my
right?
standard for president.
Okay, well then.
Everyone blames Soul Charizard. He wanted this slowed down because he couldn't keep up. Have you caught up now? Have you caught up now? Is this what you wanted? This is all your fault, Chowder.
Why are you comparing Trump to me?
Because I'm just...
Pause.
Exactly,
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Oh, Lord, she's back.
Okay, so
It should have been Charizard under the rape allegations and not Typhlosion.
everybody seems to be bringing up neo-Nazis and neo-nationalism. That seems to be coming up. And I want to know why. Under Obama, Joe Biden was the vice president. Under Obama, and they are United States government, this is a fact, organized a coup against the government of Ukraine. And Ukraine is known as one of the #1 countries where where neo-Nazis are going to train. You have the Azov battalion, you have the
The U.S. initially stopped providing weapons to the Azov battalion due to its founder neo-Nazi ideology, but lifted the ban after the unit was absorbed by the Ukrainian National Guard and rejected far-right ideology. The State Department found no evidence of alleged human rights violations by the unit.
right sector.
So one, the Azov Battalion, I think at its most had like 600 or 700 people that might have been identified as neo-Nazis. Maybe.
I can't keep going at this speed, so all requests to slow it down have been rejected. We'll never do it again.
Number one. Number two, the United States did not engage in any type of coup or anything.
There's a coup. It's
No, there
reported.
wasn't.
Yeah,
No, it's
yeah,
not.
Victoria Nuland.
Yeah, I understand. I'm aware of the Newland League. All she said was that
aware of the
all-
Newland
yes,
League,
the
which
league-
Leon's strongest soldier is wavering. Who, me? Because I'm my own strongest soldier.
Free
league
Pyatt.
call
Then
why
why
they
did
say-
they
where
remove
they
Jeffrey
say-
Pyatt from the embassy?
call the league
Why did they remove Jeffrey Pyatt from the
one
embassy?
year or another.
Why did they
There's
kick him out of
absolutely no
Ukraine?
evidence.
All of
Hey,
this
you're
is
my
on
gun
video.
was
This is on
concocted.
video.
You're delusional. You're a
Maidan,
crazy person.
I'm
You're a
crazy
crazy
person because
person.
of Maidan?
You're a
Okay,
crazy person.
okay.
Yes.
Привет, как дела? No.
Excuse me? Stop falling. This is why Trump lost that fucking debate, because he fell for the easiest of fucking bait. And right now, she's falling for the easiest fucking bait.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You don't understand what happened, and you're making
No.
up claims that aren't true. These are actual recordings from Victoria.
No, we've all heard them 15 million times because it's the only things that you guys propagate to try to claim that the United States engaged in a coup.
You guys haven't
over
brought
there.
this up at all. I'm bringing it up right now.
Okay,
Why was
pause.
that-
Azov,
Yeah.
you've been voted out by the majority.
Hi.
So I just want to address the fact, recently we had a debate, and so there wasn't any fact checks on Kamala Harris really anytime, especially when she claimed that Democrats don't support third trimester abortion and that it never happens. That recently happened not too long ago, Washington, D.C. with Cesar Santangelo. There were 5 third trimester babies who were aborted. We've seen this with her.
In the presidential debate, Vice President Harris said that it's not true that Democrats would allow third trimester abortions. However, the Democratic platform does not place any limits on abortion, and the party's previously introduced bill to restore Roe v. Wade went much further than that.
Gosnell as well.
Can I ask, what were those 5 babies aborted for?
Why does that matter? They were still killed third trimester, fully developed.
This is the shaky territory, because if you're just going to say a baby is aborted and that's murder, you're ignoring, even though it's a small percentage, the medical aspects of the person carrying that baby, and that being a reason why abortion could happen. That is one aspect. Notice I didn't bring up rape or incest, because it goes way beyond just saying, oh, what if someone's raped? Should they keep the baby? Of course, that conversation is going to get brought up in the topic of abortion anyway. But when we're asking the question of what was the specifications around those 5, and you say, what does it matter? You are inviting a hilarious level of context that is missed.
The question is, was the abortion a part of like a medical procedure for the life of the mother?
No.
So was it totally
It was
elective?
elective,
Okay,
yes.
I'll look it up afterwards. My understanding is 1 is incredibly rare. 2, I don't even know if the vast majority of Democrats would support this. 3, I don't know if the vast majority of like pro-choice people would support this.
But the thing is, over 90% of Democrats actually don't. They are okay with there not being any limits on abortion. If we look at the states, there's 6 states, including Washington D.C., which is a district that has no restrictions on abortion. That means that all of those states are Democrat states. So yes, that side is perpetuating and at least setting a very dangerous precedent that this can happen in those
I
states.
think the reason why they advocate for no laws in those states, and I would look at this way with craft law for, but the problem is that if you make it illegal, then if a medical issue does come up, there's a potential roadblock or hurdle there where a person might die waiting to get some type of like legal.
But someone always dies in an abortion. Someone always dies. A human being always dies.
With all due respect, this is an insane position, and
No,
I'm not going to take the position that the life of the fetus is going to be prioritized over the life of the mother because you want to make an abortion illegal there in that case.
I don't want to distract from the hilarious thing, but fetus got brought up and my memory bank has completely unlocked. I want you all to see something. Might be the ultimate damnation of anybody who bothers to carry in these conversations about this. Where is the clip? Where can I find you? I need you. No, don't add it to a fucking queue, you gremlin. Here. Hold on. Let me turn this off. There it is. Is it the parasite thing from before? No.
Do you truly, in your heart of hearts, truly believe that this is a human being? This?
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt?
Yes.
This is a dolphin fetus.
I swear to God. I saw this shit in the middle of the night and I screamed. Fucking. What's a woman? What's a fetus?
Without a doubt, a dolphin fetus is a human being. This is a human fetus. This is how similar this is. But quite different. Dolphin. You just.
That's fucking terrible. And I only brought that up because I heard fetus.
So it's okay to kill a human being just for any sort of reason.
I think the family should be making that decision.
So-
I don't think that the government should be stepping in and saying.
I don't think that the government should allow people to kill people for no reason.
But you're saying that you would turn the woman away from medical treatment because she can't engage in an abortion.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not the claim that I'm making. What I'm saying is that side is saying that no one supports it, that no laws are giving precedent for third trimester abortions when that's happening. And even if it is a small number, say it's 1% of all abortions, that's still over 15,000 abortions. That's 3 times the amount of kids who die in school shootings, which is a tragedy, and that's an issue we all need to fix. But that's still a significant amount of people that are dying from abortion, and no Democrat is acknowledging that. And I think it should be at least acknowledged.
Okay, I mean, if Republicans want to put together any type of like pro-choice legislation that they feel like Democrats would support, I mean, then they can have a conversation, but obviously that's not going to happen. So
No,
when
it's not.
Democrats are
It's not
engaging
okay to kill
because when Democrats are engaging with that conversation with Republicans bring up the third trimester stuff, you guys don't actually care about third trimester.
Why do we not care?
Because
Your side doesn't.
because you care about all 3 trimesters. You just use exactly. So you don't want to be on third trimester abortion. You want to ban all abortion.
Yes,
So you
absolutely.
hyperfixate on the third trimester abortion as a way to get
No,
into the
because it's happening
conversation.
because your side denies that it happens, and it does happen.
How is this even an argument? Well, it's because no one knows what a real fucking or what a human fetus could look like, nor did they know how to differentiate between like a human fetus and a fucking animal fetus. So when you just pull up a fucking picture, motherfuckers are just gonna go, hey, Look at this shit.
They acknowledge that it happened, or even if they ban third trimester abortion, you guys still want to get
So
rid
you're
of
okay
abortion?
with third trimester abortion?
I'm
Okay,
okay.
pause. Please return to your seats.
Why is that woman raising her flag? The girl is bringing up good points. Because, my child, it's not important bringing up actual points in the conversation. What's important is spending however many minutes of the time limit dicking around saying Destiny's a cuck master. Oh, no.
Number one, I'm a MAGA gangster. I'm outside.
Fucking faggot. Like, what the fuck did I just hear? The fuck did I just hear? What did I just hear, bro? Remember, we on strike too. Remember, we are on strike too. Vote him out, please. If he gets right now we're at 1 hour 32 minutes and 26 seconds. With it sped up, he better get 2 minutes.
When it comes to Trump, have you ever been to a rally?
Yeah,
That's number one. I don't know if you book smart or if you're really outside, because I'm outside. I'm outside. And you basically said MAGAs thrive off of lies. First of all, you ever seen the Trump rally? You don't see all of the unity and love out there?
Nope, I see things saying like deport all the immigrants, and I see more MAGA flags, and I see.
I hear people on the stage calling people Antichrist. I hear the hilarious rhetoric about how, Puerto Rico's a fucking garbage land. It's fucking unity.
So you support, let me ask you this. You support Black Lives Matter?
Not that much.
But Black Lives Matter only when media put it out. That's number one. Trump is bringing a lot of unity and love. You support burning and looting.
Don't take my fucking talking points and turn them into this, you fucking petulant. Like, don't take my fucking talking point. 1 minute has passed. He's got one more. Vote him out now.
That's what you support. And it tripped me out how you could support someone that just want the world to just go crazy, burning and looting. And I heard you say something earlier that's crazy. You said you hate America. Talk about that.
I don't think I ever said I hate America.
Yes, you did. And it made me look at you even more.
Okay, what
you said it
context?
earlier. You said it earlier.
I don't think so. I think I said that I like America. I like America. I don't think MAGA people like America. I don't think you guys have any idea what it means to be American. I don't think you know what American values are. I don't think you know what this country was founded or built upon. I think you guys are obsessed with a cult leader who is taking the entire Republican Party off of the cliff.
Everything you say he do. Trump is gangster.
Can you give me one thing you don't like?
What I don't like about it.
So Trump is a thug who doesn't.
I love everything about.
I know.
Trump is a fucking thug.
Because it's a cult. Thank you.
It's not a cult. No, it's not a cult.
cult.
Everything is a cult if you want to think about it.
Okay.
Everything is a cult.
No. Gonna be honest with y'all. If y'all are buying the Trump Bible, you are showing me clear examples of a fucking cult. And people did it.
That's
somebody in a cult. That's probably true. Yeah.
Someone that's representing and Kamala Kumala, whatever her name is, she out of here. Trump 2024. Let's go.
I will excuse him being voted out because he got 2 minutes. Thank fucking God.
Hi, Jenny. Nice to meet you. So you think that people that support Trump are in a cult? Why is that?
I feel like Donald Trump is basically untouchable. He can do no wrong. The entire conservative party is basically centered around Donald Trump. Any person that goes against Donald Trump, it can be so many people.
I can agree with this because I do not have a faulty memory. I do remember when Ron DeSantis and Vivek were the options people believed in, and then word came down from the chambers, the Trumpinator was coming back, and they said, "Get these fuckers out of here."
Everybody still looks at all of those people around him as being the fault, and never Donald Trump. When Donald Trump was in office, it was because of the swamp. When people like Barr turned against him, it was because he was a rhino. When people like McCarthy didn't, like Kerry Spanner, it's because he's a rhino. People like it's just labeling of every single person around us as a bad guy. Is those people are rhinos, and Trump is great, and Trump can do no wrong basically.
I think that's false. I don't think Trump is a perfect human being. I think anybody out here that's voting for Trump knows that he is not innocent. No top businessman, no top politician got to the top without getting their hands dirty. I think what we're all voting for is based on his policies. I think he prioritizes the economy. I think he stands for women's rights, and that is something that's very, very important to me. Do you think that Trump likes women? Do you think he respects them at all?
Trump loves women. I don't know if he respects them. When we say
Really?
that people
You don't
supports,
think
no.
Why not?
I think the type
think he respects them at all.
Trump loves women. I don't know if he respects them. When we say
Really?
that people
You don't
supports,
think so?
I did it just for this. Screenshot.
No.
Why not?
I think the types of statements alone that he makes about women, I think, call that into question. But you said earlier that people support Trump because of his policies. I don't think that's true because I don't even know what policies of Trump, nobody even talks about them.
Oh, really? He posted on his Twitter, he posted that like 20 promises he's going to make to America. He's going to make trans women competing in women's sports illegal. I think that is something that needs to be said, that he does support women in that road.
Are these things are these like the most important issues too?
I think so.
Okay.
I am a woman after all. At least I know I
You've
am.
been doing a lot of NCAA or...
Oh, Lord. If somebody says, what is a woman, I'm turning this shit off.
Or whatever athletic events.
I attended San Jose State. I graduated from there. You
And I have my fucking finger on the stream.
do you realize that there is a transgender person that's on that volleyball team and nobody on that team was told that there was a transgender woman on there?
I didn't know this was the largest issue in the election for you. It just seems like a pretty minor thing.
I think women's rights in general is a big thing.
Okay, not the right to abortion.
So you talk about misinformation, but you've given us a ton of misinformation right now. You said, seems like nobody in MAGA even wants to talk about any of the issues of Donald Trump. Had multiple debaters come up, talked to you about multiple economic policies, compare and contrast with Kamala, gave you great reason.
I don't think I heard any economic policy from Trump when he was in for you.
Okay, no, back up. Now you're switching claim. So what you just claimed is I don't hear MAGA people talk about this at all.
I don't think I heard any
That's
policy
what you
brought up.
said, and yes, they did. They brought up the capital gains policies. They also brought up tariffs. They brought up the tariff policies. They brought up multiple economic policies. Total misinfo.
Okay.
Total misinfo for you to say they didn't. They absolutely did. Are you disputing that nobody here brought up any policies of
I
Donald
think that
Trump?
when you're talking policies from somebody, if the only thing you have are tariffs, it's not really a strong policy foundation.
I'm sorry. Did you use the word any? You don't hear anybody talk about that?
Speaking like a human being right now.
Oh, but when
right?
Donald Trump
So-
speaks like a human being, he's a liar.
Doesn't speak like a human
Yeah,
being. Moron.
anytime.
I'm sorry, but Donald speaks like a
So
human
would
being.
you say it's misinformation? For instance, is it misinformation when you say that a firefighter who got murdered at a rally, when you laugh at that and you say that that's totally fine, are you spreading misinformation?
No,
Are
I said
you-
that's totally fine. I think I said I don't really have any sympathy.
No,
for
you
it.
didn't. You laughed about it. You thought it was funny. You didn't give a shit. You were under fire on Twitter for weeks until you finally backed away.
I haven't backed away from any of those statements.
Yeah.
Go find
You haven't backed away from any of them?
No, not at all.
You don't care that the guy died, right?
Died rally-
Yeah, you don't care.
When this side is involved
Don't you
in
care about
some of the most
misinfo?
violent devices. Here's a
You care about
question.
misinfo?
Here's a question. That doesn't do misinfo. Here's a question.
I'll-
Wait. Do you disavow any of the rhetoric about Paul Pelosi? Do you disavow any of the rhetoric about Paul Pelosi?
What? Even if I made any outrageous claim possible, it has nothing to do with your claim, which
You
is what
disavow
we're
any of the-
talking
you
about. We're
disavow
talking
any
about
of the-
your claim.
no,
Stop
he
switching.
doesn't, of course not.
Stop
He doesn't
switching the
acknowledge the
goalposts.
January 6th. He doesn't acknowledge
And you're
the
filibustering.
way
You're
FEMA right now because they're
Stop
convinced that the federal government's taking
spurting.
houses.
Stop spurting.
You're
Stop spurting.
you can say stop spurting over and over again. I'm not here to talk about my tweets, but that's what you really want to do. That's what you crazy shit about, I promise.
Are you going to acknowledge that you said totally fine? You didn't care. You just said right now you don't
No,
care.
you can look at all
How
my-
is it now? Let me explain how
What
it's.
does that do with
I'm going to
misinformation?
explain how it's misinformation. Because don't you think that if you make claims like Donald Trump is un-American, Donald Trump doesn't like the Constitution, and then you have an assassin come, he tries to kill Donald J. Trump at a rally, another American dies. Aren't you spreading misinformation by saying to people this is okay? Isn't that un-American?
I never said this is
Isn't
okay.
it
I've said
un-American?
over and over again that there should be any
It's not misinformation. It's just fucked up.
political violence in the United States. It's not good. You can laugh. You guys are the ones
Donald
that
Trump said that on January 6th. He said it during January 6th.
Actually, he sat and watched it happen for 3
Oh,
hours.
after the guy died, now you're sorry about your rhetoric.
Who said I was sorry?
Yeah, you're not sorry.
Stop
Exactly.
projecting onto me. I never said I was sorry about anything. I have not said that. Yeah, unlike you, I have fine with things I say, okay? Number one. Number two, Donald Trump and your side are the ones that have engaged in divisive rhetoric for years. This idea that saying Donald Trump is un-American when Donald Trump himself says he'd be a day one dictator,
Divisive rhetoric
if he would
is
suspend
fine.
the Constitution. I'm sorry, if the divisive
There's a
rhetoric
difference between
explodes
divisive
Donald Trump,
rhetoric and
that's
assassinating
Donald
guys.
Trump's problem. Maybe he
Your
should
rhetoric
say
has
that
led to
un-American.
assassination attempts, and one of the guys who died there, you don't even give a shit, and have said this multiple times. And at the same time, you're like, oh, I love America. What kind of bullshit is this, Destiny?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's
When you guys
unbelievable.
start taking accountability for some of the crazy things that you say, come and talk to me, okay? Come and talk to me.
Okay, so we're gonna do a 5-minute extension.
Oh, Lord. Why? The timer's off. Jubilee feeds this propaganda. You know what? I'm rescinding what I said about that one guy. He was right. This should be over. Oh, the fucking loser came back.
All right, I want to go back to
fact,
kind of your original claim, which
disinformation.
Well, can you restate your original claim?
I think MAGA thrives on disinformation. They are in a totally different reality now than they ever have.
Oh my God, dick. I haven't said it in a while, but dick.
So that actually wasn't your original claim. Your original claim was that
The MAGA movement wouldn't exist without the amount of disinformation. Yeah,
right. Okay. So how can you possibly know that?
Why I can't know all possible worlds if they wouldn't.
Right. Exactly. So right off the bat, your initial claim is false.
Okay. Well, if this is a philosophy 101 class, then you completely and totally debunked me, sir. Yeah.
Wow. Great. Great. Well, so great. Your initial claim is false. Glad you can admit that. Now you want to go to the disinformation topic. Well, one, I think a lot of the rhetoric that you're spewing is very divisive for our nation because a lot of the times you're assuming people's intentions on these things, right? You're assuming that people are purposefully ignorant when you're in no position to actually know something like that.
I don't know if people are purposely ignorant or not. Actually, unironically, I hold the individuals a lot less accountable than I do the content creators.
Well, but you don't talk to people like that.
Well, I usually am talking to content creators. Even most of the people in here, I think, are like on TikTok or something else. I've seen a lot of these Facebook.
Okay, so that's an assumption without any evidence.
Hold on, are you saying that I'm assuming without evidence that most of the people that I talk to tend to be like...
No, most of the people in this room. That's what you're assuming.
Okay.
So anyways, again, you're assuming the intentions of these people, and that's not true. You're assuming that we're part of this MAGA cult, which is not true at all.
I mean, the guy here earlier literally said that Trump...
Well, okay, well, maybe some people...
There's literally somebody up there. Somebody in that room is a good representation of what one would call a MAGA cultist, and he's that fucking black guy.
Right, and I don't believe that Trump can do no wrong, and I think most Republicans believe that, right? I'm disgusted by some of his personal behavior. I think his stance is on abortion. He's
Okay,
way too
pause.
far left.
You've been voted out by the majority.
Hey, well, your original claim was false, so that's great to hear.
So, you know, you made the claim that MAGA wouldn't exist or Make America wouldn't exist without
misinformation,
misinformation. Obviously not a true statement. I think you just admitted that.
Well, I mean, likely they would. I can't prove that 100%.
Okay, and I mean, and it started way back during the Reagan years. So, you know, that's,
I think it's accelerated a lot with social media, and it's accelerated a lot under Trump and MAGA. Because Trump is the first guy that just lies with impunity. There's no accountability on the conservative side, and he
so
does.
speaking of people who, you know, who believe in MAGA, you know, it seems like based off of the rhetoric that you have said, you know, all of the people in here and the millions of people who are kind of fall into that.
Hi, Gaming Witch. It's nice to see that you finally joined us.
Umbrella of, you know, believing in Make America Great Again. You know, you act like we're some cult and we're, you know, some evil people. All of us are human. Every person in this room.
I mean,
it's
asylum seekers are human. Illegal immigrants are human. You guys talk about
Can you stop interrupting me? I'm talking.
Okay,
Let's be respectful.
I don't have to be.
So everyone here in this room is human, and people who are Make America Great Again. And
who just sent me this? What the fuck is this? What is this? Don't patronize me with this media drivel. I'm just now sitting down for dinner that I cooked. What the fuck did you make with that lack of spice in that fucking house? What did you make? What is this? What is this?
It comes up. So apparently, if you ask Siri when the next general election is, it comes up with a photo of Kamala. So we're going to try it out. Hey Siri. When is the next general election?
It will happen Tuesday.
Hey Siri, when's the next general election? Nothing came up. Fucking nothing came up for me just now. I'm not bothering. Fuck it, I'll just do it again. Hold on. I gotta make sure Siri hears my demands and commands. Hey Siri. When's the next general election?
Election day is on Tuesday, November 5th.
I'm going to screenshot this and show you all. Siri's ghosting you. That's sick. I already can't get a woman's love. I can't get the technological woman's love. Read the comments. Why? What's there? Why don't these things ever happen in Trump's favor? I love Apple products. Yep, confirmed it. Would you all like to see what happened when I did it? I feel like I could be the smoking gun here. That's what happened. And that's the top of my fucking iPhone. Let's try it again. Wait, maybe I didn't ask the right question. Maybe I didn't ask it right. What's alert me, strapping young woman?
Well, apparently, if you ask Siri when the next general election is, it comes up with a photo of Kamala. So we're going to try it out. Hey Siri. When is the next general election?
Hey Siri. When's the next presidential election?
2024 United States presidential election is on Tuesday, November 5th.
Hey Siri. Fuck you.
I won't respond to that.
I bet you won't. Or, what's your battery? Don't fucking worry about my battery life. Nobody calls me. What the fuck I gotta keep it charged for? Hey Siri. Who's going to win the presidential election?
The general election hasn't started yet. Election day is on Tuesday, November 5th.
Hey Siri. Who do you want to win the presidential election?
The general election hasn't started yet. Election day is on Tuesday, November.
Hey Siri. When's the next general election?
Election day is on Tuesday, November 5th.
So, next to nothing? Now, I could be tweaked the fuck out, and I'll devil's advocate the fuck out of this. I will devil's advocate the fuck out of this. Maybe it's because I have not the latest iPhone with all the latest technological advancements on how Siri can fuck us all in the ass. Maybe that's it. Hey Siri. Who's the sexiest black YouTuber?
Okay, I found this on the web for who is the sexiest black YouTuber. Check it out.
YouTuber is crazy. Is it up? Yes, my fucking phone. You see, that's why you're a waste of space. That's why I told Chris to ban you from his chat. All right, we're almost done.
Who go to these Trump rallies love each other and love other people and love humans and want to, they want to see the betterment of society and better.
So I can't tell the way they call motherfuckers the Antichrist. I can't tell the way motherfuckers frame some of these people as if they're fucking pedophiles. I can't tell the way motherfuckers keep sharing clips saying Kamala Harris is a part of Epstein Island, when Trump also has some not so good ties to Epstein. It's not really a loving community. It's a community full of spades. And yes, it's on the fucking... No, it didn't show my face. It's on the other side, too, with their egregious fucking claims. Because, you know, accusing a bitch of being colluding with pedophiles is on par with saying all Trump supporters are garbage. Yeah.
Betterment of
Okay,
everybody in
pause.
this country.
Return to your seats.
Leon, you try to frame me as a shooter so you can't say shit because it's so fucking convenient that literally every time something happens to this fucking president, you're magically nowhere to be fucking found. Don't try me. I've left you alone, but I could pull up the whiteboard every fucking time. Stop fucking doing that.
What's up, Steve? Okay. So again, I think that the misinformation is far more rampant on your side. Kamala Harris'
What are
entire
really big misinformation? Okay.
Project 2025. Huge misinformation. Not Trump's
What's misinformation? Trump's advance probably.
Oh, do you remember when somebody brought up, one of you said somebody should bring up Project 2025? You're finally getting your wish.
What's I think Trump broadly
Is Trump Vance?
Vance?
Yeah, you can see he supports a lot of
He's vice presidential candidate.
Yeah, okay. Can VPs and presidents disagree with each other?
I guess Pence and him disagree quite a
Okay,
bit.
that's fine. Okay, and there have been plenty of examples in the past, like McKinley and Roosevelt disagreed staunchly. Okay, so this is not rare. Project 2025 is Kamala Harris's primary talking point, and it is not Trump's agenda. Trump has his own agenda published on his website, Agenda 47. There are some overlaps there. He agrees with some things in that project, but not all of them. The primary one being, again, Kamala Harris's biggest talking point, which is that Trump is going to institute a national abortion ban, which he has publicly disavowed.
Well, I think the problem was for a long time. I don't think he would say no to that, although I think he has said that he said vote on it.
Over and over again, he said no.
I've heard him go back and forth on it. Personally, I don't like the Project 2025 talking point. I think it's kind of cringe.
I don't know if it's misinformation.
Would I go as far as call it misinformation? I'm not sure.
Why?
But even if I would call it
Why wouldn't you call it
misinformation,
misinformation?
because it's written by a conservative think tank.
Okay, so what?
So what? Well, I might say that if
That's a problem. It being written by a conservative think tank, and there are people in there that are cordial with Trump, that's bad. And you can't just brush it off of, oh, well, who cares? It's like the fourth time something has been brought up not in the favor of the Trump supporter, and motherfuckers are just like, oh, who cares? Stop that.
even if I were to grant that it's to be misinformation, it's nowhere near on the level of Haitians are eating cats and dogs.
Okay. Do you think that, I actually argue totally the opposite, right? I think that it definitely is on that level, considering she's prescribed.
Ask Siri if she knows how to, and I'm not asking.
I think Trump's entire policy platform, trying to claim that Trump's entire policy platform is something that it isn't. And there are lots of things that Republicans agree in that policy
Donald Trump, if he
platform.
wanted,
It's a lie.
And if Donald Trump wanted to fight against it, maybe he could just have a policy platform. And they just
He does have a policy platform. Agenda 47, it's on his website.
Yeah, I've read it.
Yeah, he does.
Joke. It's things like we're going to bring down the interest rates. He can't even
But
do
that's
that.
the same with Kamala Harris's policy platform.
No, she can't
Her
bring down
entire
interest
section on
rates.
housing is 4 paragraphs.
Yeah, but she can't bring down interest rates. At the very least, there's some solid stuff there. You know, I think it's a little bit
Sure,
different.
but you're saying there's no policy proposals.
I'm saying that Donald Trump, when Donald Trump speaks, he doesn't.
It's more fleshed out than her plan.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Her entire housing section is 4 paragraphs, and one of
I
them
think
is
Donald
hardly
Trump's
one.
I think it's one
All
paragraph.
right,
okay?
guys, we're time.
It's 4 times
time.
better.
Okay, please return to your seat.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? This one right here.
Thank you. Respectful dialogue. This is one of the few people. I'm so glad he didn't pick the motherfucker in the red coat. Thank God. I knew he wasn't, but Destiny is one who'd do it just for the fuck of it.
I chose you because you'll break my heart the most, because you sound somewhat reasonable and intelligent, but you just say the craziest things, and yeah, so now I'm just going to try to figure out for 10 minutes if you really believe it, or if you're hardcore just carrying water for some political side.
So, Stephen, my claim is that President Biden should pardon President Trump. No matter who wins.
Whoa! That's bold. Pardon for what? Oh, all the fucking charges on his back. All right, that's strong. Also, look at this face. Screenshot. Can I make this fucking 50-yard plus field goal? Yes, I can. Oh my God, that was from the fucking logo. That field goal is from the fucking logo. I'm a dog.
Since the election, President Biden ran on unity when he came and gave that inauguration speech on January 20th, 2021. He wanted to unify the country. The best way for President Biden to leave office is to pardon President Trump and to try to bring the country.
Yes, Gaming Witch, it's a 1v25, one being Destiny against 25 Trump supporters. And the way to unify the country is to pardon a guy with a bunch of charges on his back. They got to go through legal process. And as it's gone through, you've seen some of those get dropped. So, can you pardon a motherfucker off charges alone? I mean, if you're the president, yes. But
together. I think as a MAGA movement, 75 million people may look at Biden and say, look, we have our political disagreements with this guy. But the fact that he pardoned Trump, much like Gerald Ford did, much like there's examples in our country of folks reaching across the aisle and doing, at that point, I think you could probably argue that Trump has the authority to pardon himself.
But don't blame me. It's the title of the video. Fuck.
Largely these cases will drop if he doesn't win the election. But I think it would be a very powerful signal for the unity of the country for President Biden to pardon him.
I think there are at least 3 really good reasons why that should absolutely never happen. Okay. So the first one is Donald Trump doesn't need to be pardoned because the Supreme Court's already said that the president can enjoy full and absolute criminal immunity when he's doing his job. So if he's already gotten that carve out from the Supreme Court, well, why should he need any more help to be pardoned for any other types of crimes unless we're saying that he did crimes that weren't even part of the job of being the president? I would say that's the first one. Do you want to do the other two? The other two, the second one is I think that Donald Trump has done abhorrent things in the abuse of office that I think he absolutely should be.
Count all the people. God damn it. I don't even know. I just got to wait until they fucking do a wide shot. I'm not about to look through this whole fucking thing and count these people.
Be accountable for. I think that he should answer for these things. I think it's destructive to lead this idea that you can act above the law and get away with it. And I think for the third point, the idea that Democrats have to be the ones that continue to come to the table and like, okay, we're going to do this, or okay, we're going to try to heal, and okay, we're going to do unity. When you got Biden up here, saying like, I'm going to be president for everybody, I'm going to do unity, and then Donald Trump is saying like immigrants are the poison to the lifeblood of this nation, like crazy stuff like this. Like the back and forth of conservatives being unhinged and Democrats having to like apologize for behavior. I don't like the double standard. I don't think you can exist inside of it.
Okay, let's talk about President Biden and the unity claim. You do agree that he ran on a platform of unity.
Absolutely.
Yes. We can both agree on that, right, Stephen?
Yeah.
When he called MAGA Republicans a threat to democracy, was that a sign of unity?
Nope.
Speech.
But you can't fucking say that without also mentioning that when you just said, the MAGAs are a side of unity, got motherfucker calling everybody who's an immigrant a criminal. I feel like I don't need to regurgitate the Antichrist thing.
Absolutely is. And
really?
Yes,
Why
you
so?
read the whole speech, he says over and over again, in a totally pointless manner, because I'm aware, because I'm part of the TikTok culture as well, he said over and over again, not even most Republicans are MAGA Republicans. When he said MAGA Republicans, he was talking about the subsection of people that deny the results of the last election, that don't even believe in things like institutions or peaceful transfers of power or the country operating as like a cohesive unit. He spells out over and over again that he's not talking about all conservatives, but people just clip that one line and then the picture with the red behind him and say, oh my God, look what he's saying.
As a matter of fact, though, 72% of Republicans believe that there were serious issues in the 2020 election, just as a matter of
but why do they believe that?
Well, just as a matter of empirical fact. So you got 70% of 75 million people believe that. You are still making a very wide and sweeping statement about working class Americans, black, white, Hispanic Americans, saying that they're a threat to democracy.
I don't know if all of them necessarily don't believe, like hardcore, that there was like voter rigging as opposed to the media was biased or something, because Trump kind of used to dance around those claims.
Sure.
But for as much as people believe that there were issues with the election, it's because Donald Trump told them. That's it. And a lot of the lies that started out of the Trump camp, we know now were completely and wholly fabricated. Everything having to do with that State Farm video was a total lie from the very beginning. Everything having to do with Dominion voting machines was a total lie from the very beginning. There are so many of these claims, when you look at the genesis of them, they were either fabricated or were maliciously constructed.
But doesn't President Biden have an obligation to be a president for all Americans, even those who vehemently disagree with him?
When you say vehemently disagree, yes. But for people that don't believe in the results of the election, this is the issue, is that conservatives have pushed the boundaries of what you can tolerate in a society that can function together, right? If a conservative wants to come out and say, I think that we need small government and I don't believe in the government providing all this relief and all this or whatever, and I think we should have small government, whatever, okay, I disagree with that, that's fine, whatever. We can still exist together, we can argue, okay? But when people are saying, I'm not, there was a phone call into a radio show where the guy saying his father-in-law is turning away FEMA because he thinks that FEMA's going to steal his house. We're breaking down institutions to a point where we can't function. We need institutions as much as in my head, and we need them to function. And conservatives spend every breath undermining them, and that is becoming dysfunctional. I don't know what you're supposed to do in that circumstance.
Well, I think what you can do is, and I'm not saying this isn't without risk, there's certainly some negative optics to it, but I would say that gesture, I'll tell you, you take away the ammunition from one side if you say, I'm going to extend the olive branch. And by the way, even if it's purely ceremonial and symbolic, even if the president can end up pardoning himself, even if President Trump wins, then the question becomes, why doesn't Biden do that as a symbol of genuine unity? Genuine unity.
So I don't think there is an olive.
And it won't even be unity at that point. Is there any form of unity? This dropped 7 hours ago, and I don't know when this was recorded, but the conversation now is, he called us all garbage.
Branch that would be accepted. I don't think anybody would see it as any type of, I think that arguably, I've seen back and forth on this, that Merrick Garland probably dragged his feet on prosecuting Trump and in appointing Jack Smith and in all the charges that were filed, and that was a massive mistake, that he shouldn't have waited on that should have been something he moved much quicker on, but because of this obsession with liberals and media to appear unbiased and to be nice to both sides and to treat both sides equally, even when, in my opinion, obviously one side is acting far more recklessly, it's destroying the country. We talked about Israel-Palestine earlier, we can talk about like children in the store. When somebody is acting inappropriately or they're acting out of line or they're behaving in a way that is unsustainable, that behavior has to be brought in line somehow. You cannot run a ship when half the people are trying to row in the other direction. And right now, conservatives are undermining every single facet of this country. And I don't know how we're supposed to function in that environment, right? Where we say like, okay, we're going to go ahead and pardon Trump. What if we pardon Trump and then he just commits more crimes? Or what if we pardon Trump and the next Republican president goes, well, I probably get away with it because they're going to cuck out for unity in the end, so it'll be great, right? What do you do at that point?
I disagree with you on conservatives threatening the country. I would even say that Democrats don't threaten the country. I think most Americans want a secure border, an economy that works for everybody, good education. To your point about quibbles over tax policy and regulation, do you believe that
we're not going to get a good education? Well, I don't need one because I'm already certified both at the high school level and the college level. So this next generation is doomed if we're taking funding out of an already piss poor education system. Remember that bitch who thought a Greek flag was a fucking Israel flag? That's the crumbs. The full dish is a lot of niggas stupid.
That a supporter of the deportation of illegal migrants falls into that category of a radical conservative.
I think it's a radical position, but I don't think that's like a beyond the pale position.
Okay.
I think it's done for a variety of reasons, but not only beyond the pale.
Right, and I mean, look, Axios Ipsos found this in April that 55% of Americans, not just conservatives, Americans support the mass deportation of illegal migrants. 46% of Democrats do. Why do you think that is when you look at places like Chicago and New York? Why long-time
I think it would be for a
Democrats?
variety of reasons, but again, this isn't an issue. It's like the minimum wage. I think that we probably need a minimum wage, but I don't think that agreeing to disagree on this makes it un-American. Same thing with like abortion,
Right.
which is way more charged. I don't think it makes you un-American. Things like immunity for crimes for the president, that's a deeply un-American value, that the president can't be charged with criminal behavior, even in the role of his job. That, in my opinion, that's deeply un-American. The undermining of all the institutions. That America should have no role as like a world leader. That the way that we look at immigrants as enemies, or that we don't want to trade with anybody because you just want these things are. No, I wouldn't say the trade thing. I would say like the immunity thing are a really big one. The idea of America needing to receive from the world is a big one. The idea of like the weaponizing of all of the DOJ that Trump wants to do. These are
oh my God, dick!
Things that deeply concern me. Talking about terminating the Constitution.
Look at that dick! Oh my God.
And all these things, yeah.
So we can have our disagreements. There's a lot there we could pick up. We've only got a couple minutes left.
Yeah, you're good.
But you're an American. I'm an American. I believe that you love this country. I believe that you want the best for this country, the best for your family. Donald Trump wins on November 5th. Genuinely. What is one piece of advice you give him?
We're all gonna die.
Donald Trump wins. What is one piece of advice that you give him? Donald Trump, after he's gone, will have family members that remain in this world, that carry his name through the world. He will have a legacy, he'll have a reputation, and that the way that he acts in his last 4 years as president will be remembered for the rest of history, for as long as America continues to exist, and that he has an opportunity in his second term at least to right some of the wrongs of the first term, or to prove people like me wrong, at least when I said that the United States would become an authoritarian hellhole or whatever else. So he has an opportunity to prove people like me wrong, and I hope that he would take advantage of that.
I think that'd be great. I think that would be great for the country, to tell you the truth. Is there one policy, one position that you agree with Donald Trump on, even remotely?
The problem is I just don't like his thought process. So there are going to be things that we agree on, but like we're going to agree on them for totally different
What's an
reasons.
example of
Like in general, I'm not as big on like DEI or affirmative action type stuff. I think for a variety of reasons has a lot of different issues. I think that having a secure border is really important. Arguably one of the most important things about having a country is having a border. I think the Democrats like broadly agree with that as well.
Alex.
I think that yeah, I could probably find other things, but like our agreements are going to be very roundabout. We're not getting here the same way. But I think the creation of the Space Force was good. Obviously all the conservatives hated it, but I thought Warp Speed was a tremendous achievement of capitalism, of pharmaceuticals, of the United States and U.S. leadership.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I think the big picture though, and can we just give me a round of applause?
No, I don't want a round of applause.
Oh wait, shit.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I think the big picture though, and can we give me a round of applause?
No, I don't want a round of applause.
All right, this is our chance. We got it. We got our moment, boys. Let's count them. Let's count them. Let's count them off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. It's 1v22. The fuck are the others? It's not even 21. What the fuck is this? Matter of fact, let me count this again. Let me count from let me count from him all the way to that. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. What the fuck? How did they get it wrong? And also all of us who noticed there's only 21 flags get it wrong. What the fuck? What the fuck, bro? This shit alright? We've made it.
I'm a big believer, Stephen, that when we come together as a country and have conversations, difficult conversations like this, we may not walk away saying, well, I agree with Stephen, or I agree with James, or I agree with any of the folks here, but you walk away saying, that's a person, that's an American, we can disagree agreeably. And I might understand for just a moment their perspectives. I want to thank you for being here. I think that the biggest thing for the country going forward, in a sense, is how do we have more debate, not less, more disagreement, not less.
Unfortunately, I totally disagree with you.
Yeah.
I was there a while ago. It's not enough to just have conversations anymore. I think we have to start taking steps in an actual direction. I think right now we're talking ourselves off a ledge. And I notice a lot of times when I have challenging conversations with people, I get all these comments that pop up, whether it's me talking to Peterson, Shapiro, Owens, I'm like, what a great civil conversation. But at the end of the day, nobody's mind comes away changed, and everybody still feels the same way, and we're still accelerating off of each other faster than we ever have been before. But at least we're having good conversations on the way down to the base of the cliff, I guess.
Well, dudes look like a fucking nerd, bro. You should have saw the one beefed up motherfucker. You missed that.
Let me end. Let me end on a bipartisan note, Stephen. Let's not just make debate great again. Let's build it back better.
Okay.
No, douchey. See what you just did? You made it douchey. You just turned debates more douchey than what these online dipshits do.
Thank you.
I think I did about as well as I could have. I mean, there's always more like itty-bitty pieces of factual information that I could have, but it's hard to keep track of everything. But yeah, I think it was okay. Maybe I could have been meaner to some people, but I'm okay.
I think that James did really well. I think that Destiny himself did really well too. I think that Destiny is probably the best debater in the space on either side. So I think that we did really well against him considering that fact. I think that debate is important. I guess kind of counter to what Destiny thinks, even though he's a professional debater.
Part of democracy is talking. You know, we see these global conflicts in Israel, what's happening with Russia and Ukraine, is because people aren't talking. I think that the Republicans.
Yeah, bro. Not because of any bombs, killing. It's because no one's talking. Yeah, bro. Let's talk about how you just bombed the fuck out this place, bro. Be awesome. The fuck did I just hear? The fuck did I just hear? We've made it, boys. We made it to the end, though.
Republican Party today and President Trump we want peace. We want to bring people back to the talking table and for people to be civil.
So there were some personal attacks here and there, but I think for the most part, everybody stayed on the substance of the issue. There were some heated moments. That's okay. But I think
no, they didn't. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. I feel dirty hearing all of what I heard today. We must cleanse ourselves before we go.
Release you from the spell.
Election falsehoods take off as on YouTube as it looks the other way. We must cleanse thyself from whatever hodya.
You have no power here.
Well, the New York Times hit piece just dropped and basically outright demands that YouTube ban anybody who even appeared to be pro-Donald Trump, pro-conservative, people like Tucker Carlson, Ben Shapiro, Tim Pool, Kash Patel, Benny Johnson, Mike Davis, Ted Cruz, RFK Jr., and more. This, in my opinion, is trying to sway the message. They are extremely upset that YouTube didn't censor us enough. And while I'm incredibly thankful for the opportunity...
I don't need YouTube to be censoring any of these people. Unless they blatantly spout a level of fucking depravity. I still want that fucker who shaves his bare ass on camera banned, but their excuse, it's educational purposes, which is a fucking cop-out.
Opportunity that YouTube has given me to, because of them, because of the platform that they built, I've been able to find and meet all of you. Again, I keep telling folks, download the Rumble app.
Why does he keep lumping himself in with all these people who are more popular and mainstream than him? Who does this each time? I don't think this dude's been mentioned in whatever fucking... It's people like Tim Pool, Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh that are in this. But his trickle-down effect is, this could reach me, and therefore restrict me from accessing all of you. And it's like, but...
Give Rumble a try. I have nearly 270,000 followers on Rumble. It is not a wasteland. There's tons of people there. Be considering new content out there. This is actually scary because I know we all know that it's nonsense. The problem is YouTube will probably bend the knee. YouTube will probably demonetize some of these people and probably crank up the shadow banning. And so before we get into their ridiculous lies, I want to make a direct call out. I've been working extremely hard with my team to YouTube claims the ability to openly debate political ideas, even those that are controversial, is an important value, especially in the midst of the election. The New York Times and Media Matters hope to pressure Google and YouTube and throughout this entire article. Here I have the archive, of course, because screw the New York Times. Plus, I want to make sure, just in case they try to change anything, I always archive for legal reasons. In June 2023, YouTube decided to stop fighting the most persistent strain of election misinformation in the United States from the falsehood. Within months, the largest video platform became the home for election conspiracy theories, half-truths, and lies. Or like the Project 2025, or that Trump wants to take away women's rights to healthcare, or that Russiagate, or the P-tapes, or, any of the things that CNN spews out every night. Now, here in the second paragraph, this tells you what they want. Within months, the largest platform, they in turn became a source of revenue for YouTube, which announced growing quarterly ad sales on Tuesday. Well, duh, it's an election year. I had the best October I've probably ever had this month. I know that's not going to happen. For the next year, everybody blew their ad budgets. During 4 tumultuous months of this year's presidential campaign, researchers from Media Matters for America, which is a bully organization that is pro-leftist, a group that monitors information from conservative sources but not liberal, examined the consequences of YouTube's about-face. New York Times independently verified the research examining all the videos identified by Media Matters and determined whether YouTube placed ads or fact-check labels on them. This is what's going to happen. If Donald Trump wins this election, the conservative space of YouTube, which is already incredibly silent, even just the non-mainstream space, right? Because, I'm not a conservative. I'm a Trump guy, but I don't know, what's going to happen to my vote. I have no undying loyalty to Republicans or even some conservative values. I'm still seriously just a 90s liberal who doesn't, that's basically none of my views have changed since that. The 30 conservative channels posted 286 videos containing misinformation, which racked up 50 million views. YouTube generated revenue from more than a third of those videos by placing ads before them or during them, researchers found. Now, what's interesting about this attack is that they're going directly after YouTube. By the way, have you gone to thecorning.com/join yet? I really hope you're going to join. This obviously can only end bad for everybody in the space, but everyone else is already multimillionaires, okay? Tim says he's got 50,000 plus paying members. Daily Wire's
The quartering needs you. We've got a team here of 10 plus people now. We got Melanie Mack, Sticks, Luke Rukowski, Hannah Claire, Maggie, Steven, Al, Ben. I mean, it's, you know, we need you too. Popular punishment.
Ah, yes. People have millions of dollars. Quick, before we get canned, because it's all about the money, please buy us. Buy.
Ben Shapiro, Mr. Giuliani, Mr. Carlson. YouTube, which is owned by Google, has prided itself on connecting viewers with authoritative information, even forcing mainstream media on people about election. But this presidential content, it acted as a megaphone for conspiracy theories. Do you think that the authors, do you think the New York Times think maybe that Donald Trump is going to win? Do you think that maybe they're just selectively being outraged about this because they think Donald Trump's going to win the election? That's what I think. It certainly seems like that, at least to me.
Weren't we getting cleansed and you share that? What are you talking about? What's the problem?
YouTube spokeswoman said,
What are you talking about?
None of the 286 videos violated its community guidelines. Get wrecked. Get wrecked. YouTube says, go pound sand. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not going to turn around and start siloing us more than normal. That's why I've been putting so much, all that, you know, I said October was a good month. Well, I didn't keep that money. I spent it on upgrading the quartering.com. You know, it's like a smart person would. All my competition hasn't upgraded their sites at all. They don't have an awesome members dashboard like I have where you can get
you don't care about this. You just want people to pay attention to your shitty memberships, buddy, so that you can promote the same fucking videos. So everybody, goodbye.